There we are.
Okay, we are back on live.
Yes.
Sorry for the technical difficulties, people who are watching or not watching. It happens, It's all good now, but we're all back, and hopefully, we get to finish this long. It's gonna be a long one, guys.
Well, check out part 1, where we talk about Civil War. So
yeah,
basically,
before we ended, yeah, it was Thomas. Oh, it's okay, it's all right. But not for the technical problems. It's just like we'll just wrap up our thoughts of Civil War really quickly.
I guess since I went first with introducing Civil War, I'll wrap up my thoughts. I still think, I think what Rob and Dan said, how this was, all the great action points they pointed out in the movie, they really nailed they nailed everything on the head. They pointed out some of the best scenes in the movie. Fantastic. The Russo brothers definitely understand these characters, and I feel like when these characters are involved in a movie directed by the Russos, I think they're at their best. I feel like the Russos really do understand all these characters, even the big main characters, and even the small characters. And I think having all these superheroes, how they juggled everything together, with Spider-Man and all that stuff. I think they did a great job with how many superheroes they had to work with. I mean, this was a really big movie, not only for the Captain America franchise, but for the MCU in general. And it was just really cool to see this kind of adaptation of the Captain America storyline in a movie. And like you said, it's kind of like an Avengers 2.5. And I think it's a really great little, I guess you would say it's kind of like a pilot for like what we would see like with Infinity War, because it would be like Avengers 3.0. And but I think Civil War was a fantastic installment into the MCU. It definitely made a lot of money. Deservedly so. And overall, I mean, Civil War is just fantastic. Great characters, great action, a lot of great direction. I love the actors in their roles. They nailed them down great. And overall, Civil War gets a big thumbs up for me. So I definitely would say Civil War is a fantastic installment into the MCU, and it was a great start to Phase 3.
All right. Super Cool Cousins, what you guys overall thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just point this out. Civil War holds a 7.8 on IMDb. It tied with Winter Soldier, so they're both.
I thought Civil War would have been a little higher.
I actually thought maybe Winter Soldier would be higher. I think it speaks for two things. I think it speaks for one, people are conflicted at if they like one or the other better. And two, it just shows how great the Russos did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the directing of two films that are now equally liked. So yeah, Thomas wrapped up pretty much everything. My thoughts.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, I explained in the last one. I thought it was a little bit better than Winter Soldier, but it's great. So
I feel like I like Winter Soldier a little better though, but that's just me though. Maybe
I agree.
I've seen Winter Soldier more times than Civil War, because I've seen Civil War quite a fair share of times, but I always go back to Winter Soldier more. I definitely say Winter Soldier is still my favorite Captain America movie.
But okay, wrap up.
That as well, probably.
I agree with Thomas that I like Winter Soldier a little bit better. But like as like just the pure action movie, Civil War is more fun to watch. But Winter Soldier, I think has I think Winter Soldier has a bit of a stronger story, in my opinion, but just barely. Before we move on to Doctor Strange, I do want to mention how I mentioned how I felt like Robert Downey Jr.'s performance as Tony Stark in Age of Ultron felt a little bit phoned in.
Mm-hmm.
This time, I think he gives one of his best performances as that character in Civil War.
Absolutely.
Especially when he finds out about the truth about his parents, how they died. That scene is just, so good.
Yeah.
Don't bullshit me, Rogers. Yeah.
Nice.
And yes, the Stanley cameo in this movie. He comes in at the end as the mailman and says, "Hey, I got a package for Mr. Stank, Tony Stank."
Yeah,
that was pretty funny. This movie went on to do 408 million domestically and 1.1 billion worldwide.
So it definitely made its money back.
I would say it made some money.
Yeah.
all right.
And the end credits to this movie, you see a little setup for Black Panther, where he takes Bucky safe. He takes him safe. Like he takes him to Wakanda and keeps him safe. He promises to Captain America that he will. When the time comes when he needs help, it will happen. Setting up the whole White Wolf and all that stuff.
Let them try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see the
What
Black
did you
Panther statue.
Yeah. Maybe a Starbucks.
And the second after credit scene was you get a little bit of Peter Parker and Aunt May, and after the whole fight in the airport in Germany, where he talks about like, oh yeah, the guys I fought with, one of them was Steve. He lives in Brooklyn. There's that bit where Captain America and Spider-Man talk where they have kind of a connection because they're both from New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his friend, he was huge, talking about Giant Man, Ant-Man. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Setting up Homecoming. Overall, we all enjoyed Civil War a lot.
Definitely.
Okay. So moving on. Later that year, 2016, we got the debut of Doctor Strange, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, or Cumber Snatch, whatever you want to say it.
Cucumber.
This was written directed by Scott Derrickson, who, if you're familiar with him, he directed The Exorcism of Emily Rose, I believe.
Oh, really?
And
I feel like a lot of people forget that he did that.
What's that one movie he did with Eric Bana? Going back to Angry Talk.
Deliverance from Evil.
He did that too.
And he also directed Sinister.
Sinister, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And on top of that too, he also directed Hellraiser Inferno.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll go first in this one.
Yeah.
So,
Please go first. All right.
When I first saw this movie, I wasn't really a big fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the few Marvel movies where I wasn't really excited, like going in. So it's like maybe that played a role in that. And then I saw it a second time, like when it came out on Netflix. Like, still not really getting into it. But now this is the third time I've seen it. Watching all of them again, and after watching some weak installments like Thor: Dark World, this one is actually grown on me a little bit. I still don't think it's a great movie, but I do appreciate some of the aspects, like the whole mastering the arts of what they do and all that stuff. The opening your mind to all the big world that there is, not just keeping it closed mind. I like that stuff. But like I think that's the overall story about we gotta fight this bad guy who wants revenge. Like that stuff, it's still not that good. But it's just even at the time I did say even though I'm not a huge fan of this movie, I do think it does. It's a good pilot to a possible really good sequel. You can you set up the origin stuff, you get that out of the way. So I think this can lead to something better with the character of Doctor Strange. That's how I feel about it.
It was kind of like a good intro.
Yeah, it's an okay intro, but it has potential for something better. That's how I see it, and that is proof when we get to Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I really gotta say about Doctor Strange.
Okay.
It's an okay movie.
Oh no, I guess I'll go next. I also wanted to point out before I get onto my thoughts about Doctor Strange, I wanted to mention that Scott Derrickson also directed The Day the Earth Stood Still with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, nice! I like that movie.
Never seen it.
It's a remake.
I'm more on the other end of not really too big on. I think it's. I wouldn't say it's one of Keanu Reeves' worst movies, but it's not one of those films I rewatch a lot. So
the original's better.
Yeah, the original one is better. Yeah,
most of the time originals are better.
Well, going into Doctor Strange, this was the first time I ever heard of the character of Doctor Strange, in the Marvel movies, or Marvel in general, because
they do mention. I'm sorry to cut you up. They do mention his name in Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Yeah, that was one of the only few times I ever heard the name of Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange was really one of those Marvel characters I wasn't too familiar with. I never even knew about because, like, you know, me as a kid and still to this day, I'm more of a DC characters guy with Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman and things like that. But when I thought of like the Marvel characters, like I knew about the really big ones, and I've talked about this a few times, like in some of the other episodes that we've done, where we, like I said, like, you know, like for Marvel characters, I said, you know, Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and Hulk, like the big Marvel characters. And so I didn't really know who Doctor Strange was. You know, I never read any comics about Doctor Strange. And, you know, I didn't really know what to expect going into Doctor Strange. You know, I saw this completely blindsided. You know, I didn't really know much about it. Did not know much about Doctor Strange, and I wouldn't say it's one of the best MCU films, but I still think it is a solid movie. I wouldn't say like, you know, it's like, oh my god, it's like the grand scheme of like the Civil War or you know, Winter Soldier or things like that, but I still think this is a very solid installment into the MCU. I think Benedict Cumberbatch does a great job as Doctor Strange, and I like the other cast members. You have Rachel McAdams, Mads Mikkelsen, Tilda Swinton. You also have Scott Adkins, and I never knew how to pronounce this guy's name. Chiwetel Ejiofor or
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah. Benedict Wong, of course. But yeah, I think, you know, Doctor Strange, and surprisingly enough, this is one of the few superhero movies I know that's under 2 hours because it's an hour and 55 minutes with credits. So it's probably one of the shorter of the superhero films that I've seen of the MCU, because usually these movies are like about 2 hours and some minutes. But yeah, I still think this was a very solid flick. I rewatched it again, and I still have the same feelings about it when I first saw it back in 2016. I still think it's a very solid flick. I love the beautiful visuals. I love the whole stylized visuals, the powers that Doctor Strange has. I think Benedict Cumberbatch does a great job as Doctor Strange. You know, seeing him as Doctor Strange, I think he was a great casting choice. I like the other supporting cast members as well, and overall, I think Scott Derrickson did a very fine job directing this. You know, considering his other films, I mean, like when I look at Scott Derrickson's like other movies, you know, I'm not really too big on Hellraiser Inferno, not too big on The Day the Earth Stood Still, but I really do enjoy Sinister, Deliver Us from Evil, and I really do enjoy Doctor Strange. I think this was a very solid installment into the MCU, and I think I wouldn't say it's like as big of a bigger step than Civil War, because you know Civil War was a great start to Phase 3, but I wouldn't say like Doctor Strange is on the grand scheme of Civil War, but I still think Doctor Strange does serve a pretty solid plate. Deserves a very solid spot in the MCU. So I definitely say Doctor Strange definitely gets a thumbs up for me. So that's my thoughts on Doctor Strange. So you, Rob or Dan, you can go next.
Why don't you take this one?
Okay. This movie was a risk when it first came out because I don't think the casual person knew anything about Doctor Strange.
I never did.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of like Inception kind of visuals, you know, with buildings turning and all that stuff. The visuals were great, but like as far as the story, like I just love the story about how he's a surgeon. He's cocky. He's cocky. He's just like Tony Stark, and you know he gets in that accident, and then he can't use his hands, and it's like he finds other ways to use his hands by learning the mystic arts and like from the ancient one. And I know a lot of people complain about Tilda Swinton. I think she's a great actress, but it's like they were complaining that you know she wasn't an Asian.
Yeah, the whitewashing.
Yeah.
There you have that.
Yeah.
I think she was fantastic, and like
He was.
I love the whole story of how he has to learn things little by little. He's reading books. He's very smart, and he doesn't even believe her at first. She's like, you have no idea what's possible, and she shows him this stuff, and he's learning how to do it. Like that whole, I just love all that. The villain, I think he was just there. you know,
Yeah.
it was his motive was clear. It was just like something you've already seen, and it was just okay.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen.
Rachel McAdams has, I guess, kind of a love interest in a way. I mean, I guess she was fine. I kind of liked her better than Natalie Portman as, you know, Jane Foster.
Oh, yeah.
Anything's better than
Anybody's better than Jane Foster.
Okay, well then you agree.
Jennings.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, the visuals were great, and I do love the ending. I do love how they got Dormammu. And Dormammu, what's cool about him, he's you know, the devourer of realities. So it's like if he went toe to toe with Thanos, he would destroy him. Like, because he is infinite. He is like a god beyond a god. Like, he is like when they actually got him in the movie, I'm like, wow, I can't believe they're going that far with it. Like, because he is cosmic. This is like cosmic stuff. This is multiverse stuff. And so I think that's what kind of throws people off too, because this movie's not grounded like the other Avengers films. They're not, you know, they take place in other universes, or this movie does, or multiverses. So in that regard, I think they did great with that idea. To make people maybe care about the characters, make people understand what the multiverse is. Here's the mirror dimension. Here's the dark dimension. Here's this and that. I think they did a good job explaining those things. And I do agree. When I first saw the movie, I was just kind of like, you know, it was okay. But as I rewatch it, I think I like it more. Infinity War really, and again, in the hands of the Russos. I know we're not there yet talking about it, but I think they made Doctor Strange, like, honestly, he's my favorite out of Infinity War.
If they can get away with setting up things in other movies, we can set up things in our own live stream about a feature film. So it's all right.
Well, I'm giving an example of how the character has transitioned. Like,
yes.
You know, I just think now I can go back to this movie and be like, man, he's awesome. Like, he's just awesome. My thinking of him is totally different than when I first saw the movie. So yeah, I think this movie actually is not as bad as some people say, but I think it's actually a little bit higher on my list. It's not the greatest film in the MCU. I don't think it's the weakest either. I don't think it's even close. So that's my take.
Okay.
Yeah, Rob, actually, you touched on something that I want to talk about, but I'm going to wait to talk about it until we get to Infinity War. I just hope I remember. But yeah, I've seen Doctor Strange twice. The first time I saw it was with you, and I thought, it was fine. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
When it came out on home video and I watched it a second time, I actually liked it less. I kind of felt like, I felt like, I don't know, I just couldn't get into the film. It makes me, I think now, like, how would the movie have been if, let's say, we had like a James Gunn directing it, or the Thor Ragnarok director? What's his name?
Damn it, Taki Wadi or something like that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I almost wonder if they would have
fact checks
some more like humor into the movie, if it would have been better.
It does have some humor though.
Yeah, it does, and Benedict Cumberbatch, I love him as an actor. I've seen him in a handful of films, and I've loved his performance in all of them. So he is a fantastic actor. And I agree with Rob. His backstory was very well done and interesting in the movie. The whole surgeon thing, and him not being able to use his hands after the accident. That was all great. It was the secondary plot of the villain. It was kind of, I don't know if cliche is the right word, but it was weak. We've just seen it so many times. Yeah. It's just really okay. Dormammu was cool. I thought that, I agree with Rob. That was awesome. And the effects were great. I liked that this was the first film that they introduced magic, into the MCU. So that was interesting. I just wonder, it makes me wonder if I feel like maybe another director might have been able to make the movie more enjoyable for me. You guys hit on a lot of good points already. Rachel McAdams, I mean,
she's there.
She she was fun. Yeah, she was literally just there. It's just like,
right.
you know, but yeah, I thought I really like Doctor Strange's cape that has sentience to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of it is, but
It's like the carpet in Aladdin, kind of like that.
That's
Disney.
That's exactly how I explained it to my 12-year-old yesterday when we were watching it anymore. So anyway, yeah, I think Doctor Strange, it's an okay film.
And another thing is, like, we get introduced to another Infinity Stone, the
Time Stone,
which is the Eye of Agamotto, which we learn about the Eye of Agamotto, but we don't realize it's an Infinity Stone until later on, because he's there to protect it, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Okay. This is gonna be a short discussion about Strange. But I do like another thing. Like I did like the struggle after his accident, and like how you guys mentioned with his hands and he's pushed everybody away. And that's like part of his struggle. I like that. I warmed up to watching it again. Like, okay, I appreciate that. But the whole like the love story thing, like, it's just there. I didn't really care for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the whole that's what makes it for me like kind of weak. Still. But yeah, and you mentioned the effects are like Inception. And it was done well here too. It's like, okay, that's really cool. It's Inception style effects, but with wizards fighting each other.
Now, do you think you would have preferred maybe? Now I'm talking to Alex about this. Do you think like you would have been more interested in seeing like another director, like their take on this besides Scott Derrickson, maybe like a James Gunn or?
Well, I think like things like Scott Derrickson made this Doctor Strange world, other verse or like a multiverse, like interesting enough. So like, okay, maybe if he writes a better script for a sequel, maybe he can knock out part the second time around. So I don't know.
You do have a Doctor Strange 2 plan, right?
Yeah, it's gonna happen, and I mean, it's set up at the ending and it's set up in the end credits.
I don't know if it would have been as good if it was just like all comedic, like Thor Ragnarok. Like I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of like a different world. I don't know.
Thor Ragnarok's more like a colorful like world. You know what I mean? Like
you're dealing with gods and
and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. But are we done with Doctor Strange? Because I'm just gonna wrap up my thoughts.
I'm just gonna say, like, you got a 7.5, which is not
that's higher than I would think.
Yeah,
honestly.
Right.
So
I'm blanking on the Stanley cameo on this one, guys, for some reason.
Oh well.
Thomas, can you refresh my memory on this one? I'm sorry.
I'll look it up for you. I'll give you.
Okay, well, I'll talk about the end credits. Like the end credits,
I'll give you. Don't worry.
As a setup to the sequel, where like the character of Joel Edgerford goes bad and he kills
Which I thought that was pretty well done in the film, like having this good guy turn evil. I mean,
when he finds out the truth about like the ancient
for it being a one movie arc, I thought it was handled well.
Yeah, because in the comics, that's what he is. He's basically against him. So
he took away the power that the character of Lou Diamond Phillips is in this movie. Short role, but Lou Diamond Phillips conquered his injury too.
Richie Valens.
Yeah, and the character of Joel Edgerford at the end credits, he takes it away.
What's her name?
The Doctor Strange cameo by Stan Lee is him as a bus passenger.
Oh, okay, yeah. When they're fighting in the streets, he's like laughing.
Yeah, they copied. They did that.
Get some new material.
They did that.
Wait, they did that in what?
Infinity War. He was the driver.
In Captain Marvel, he was a bus passenger.
I don't know why, but everybody like that cameo. I always felt like for some reason I thought that was in Thor: The Dark World. For some reason, like when Thor and Malekith were fighting, I don't know.
He lives on a bus.
Wasn't the best cameo. That's why I forgot about it.
Now, Doctor Strange, looking at the box office, it cost.
Yeah, by the way, I apologize if I haven't even mentioned the budgets to this movie every time I mention the box office.
Well, there was really no like.
I mean, like to this day, Incredible Hulk is still the only flop. So it's like, yeah.
So it says apparently the budget for this cost between
Well, hold on. What did you say?
the budget for this cost between
No. Sorry, Thomas. What did Rob say?
Oh, okay.
He's talking about Ang Lee's Hulk.
I said, speaking of budgets, you know that dog thing? Man, that
Oh my God.
It doesn't really all peaceful after he jumps away from all the gangs.
Remember when he's looking at all the fungi?
We're by the way, we're never gonna do an Ang Lee's whole show. We're just gonna mention it every time we do a show.
Sure.
Well, that's how we get the
yeah. So yeah, Thomas, I'll take over the box office thing. Doctor Strange ended up making 232 million domestically and 677 worldwide.
Yeah, because I was about to say they say that I was just gonna mention
Which is pretty good for an unknown character.
For a movie that no one really knows about.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like it doesn't really say like what the budget was because it says the budget was between 165 million and 236 million dollars.
Yeah. Wikipedia's messed up in that.
Yeah, Wikipedia is pretty messed up site. It's not very useful.
But yeah, overall, I think Doctor Strange is okay.
I agree. I think it's better than okay. I wouldn't say like it's. I would say like I love Doctor Strange. Like, oh my god, it's like one of the best MCU movies ever. You know, like it's. I'm not saying it's like on the same level as like Civil War, Winter Soldier,
No, not close.
even the Avengers and things like that. But I still think it is a solid flick. But I would.
It sounds like Thomas liked it the most.
I would give it a 7 at least.
I give it about an 8.
Wow. See, Thomas liked it the most.
Wow. Okay.
Well, but that's because I just thought it was a unique kind of like superhero.
Honestly, I would probably give it like a 6 or 6.5 at the most.
That's still a pretty decent score.
I think Endgame's in trouble. You know, Doctor Strange.
Stupid.
I think I would like to watch it again just because I've only seen it twice. But like right now, I would probably give it a 6.5. Same with Alex.
That's still not bad.
See, if I hadn't seen the movies again, I probably would say this is the worst MCU movie. But like, no.
Man.
This was the one that was hardest to get into for the longest time for me. But yeah, Doctor Strange. That's it. Whatever. So next, and then the following year, 2017, we got the sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yep.
Again, written and directed by James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to take this one first? I think
wait.
it should be. You know what? I think it should be Rob because he's a huge Kurt Russell fan. So.
Well, the thing is, since I went first, well, you figure I went first with Civil War and Alex went first with Doctor Strange. I figure let's let Rob go first. With. All right, Rob. So you go first.
Guardians 2.
Yeah, this movie, Dan and I, of course, went to see it, and like honestly, I really had no idea what this movie was going to be about. Even from watching the trailer, all I knew in the trailer they showed like, oh, it's going to be like, oh, Star-Lord's father. Now we're going to finally see like what's going on with him. And what I love about the whole thing about this movie is how it is about Star-Lord, but at the same time it's about Yondu. Like there's two different things going on at once. But it's about Star-Lord's his father Ego, which is a planet, which is what was weird about that in the comics. It is an actual planet that talks, and it has a.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what are they gonna do with this? How are they gonna make this possible? But they did it, man. Like honestly, they show the planet. They show the planet with a face on it. It don't talk, but I love how Kurt Russell plays Ego in human form and how they explain that.
Oh my god. Sorry, go ahead. No, yeah, because like I'm picturing Kurt Russell. I'm picturing Kurt Russell as a planet talking.
You've seen this movie, right? You know
I've seen it, but I've seen like the way you describe it, like it wasn't a comic. It's like it's kind of funny.
Like yeah, and the comic you were like, what the hell? Like
oh yeah, well yeah, okay, yeah.
That was what
it was a talking planet, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I like that whole story how they build that up. Where now we finally get to see Peter's father. We get to see how he was born with his mom, and they did the de-aging thing in the beginning with Kurt Russell looking young, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
cool Tango and Cash, Kurt Russell, and then, so we get all that story, and then we get Yondu Yondu and Stallone, or Michael Rooker and Stallone meeting up again after Cliffhanger, which was awesome.
Yeah,
That was the only out of that. When they were yelling, "You're never a Ravager. You're not a Ravager."
Nobody.
But like we get Yondu's storyline, a little bit how the Ravagers are kind of like against him because he broke code and all that stuff. So I thought that storyline was fine, but I'm more interested in the Star-Lord and Eagle stuff. But like everyone comes back again. All the same people who play the characters. And then we get a new character, Mantis. I can't spell her. It's like Palm something. Palm
Sunday.
Palm Sunday. Palm something. But the movie had great visuals, great story, great effects. The effects were awesome. Like I said, visual. Music, great music. Fleetwood Mac. I love Fleetwood Mac. And yeah, I just think there are actual aspects of this movie that I like more than the first. I mean, there are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't know. It was a nice continuation, I think. So yeah, there's not really much to say other than just the storyline with him and his father. So it's kind of simple if you think about it. It's kind of like a simple movie.
Yeah,
it is simple compared to the first. There's a little more. It has a little more, I guess, more going on in a way.
Yeah, and I think the jokes hit too. I think the jokes were good.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's a funny movie. It's, James Gunn. So
I guess I'll just go next.
Go ahead. I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad. It's funny you say that in the comics. He was more of like an actual planet. So like,
yeah, he was a planet.
If I knew that before I saw the movie, I would probably think, how does a woman have sex with a planet?
Well, they reference that in the movie. Remember when Drax was like, how did he have sex with a planet? He would.
Yeah, you're right. He does mention that.
Yeah.
He does. So that's just me. That's just my perverted mind. But yeah, it's funny. Okay. Speaking of the humor, I like I mentioned when we were talking about the first Guardians, how Batista surprised the hell out of me, and he almost stole the movie. And this movie, he kind of does steal the movie because he has the funniest parts.
He does.
Again, it's like when he thought Yondu was Peter's actual father, and then what Rocky's like, why do you think that the guy's blue? And the way he says, the way he looks at him, what the hell's wrong with you? Or when he's talking to Mantis about how he thinks she's ugly. It's like, you think I'm ugly? He's like, yeah, he's the most hideous thing I've ever seen. But it's a good thing because if someone loves you, they love you for who you are, not how you look like.
You must be so
like that. And of course, at the moment, like a lot of people love where he like the whole like everybody finds out that Star-Lord loves Gamora, and then like Drax laughing. I'm like, you must be so embarrassed. Do me. Oh, that shit.
Isn't it weird though? Real quick, they have Stallone and Michael Rooker who were in Cliffhanger. Then they have Stallone and Kurt Russell who were in Tango and Cash together. It's just weird in one movie.
They do that again with other actors in Thor Ragnarok. We'll get to that. But yeah, that's kind of cool how they're doing like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
For old school movie fans.
I still think that's a cool thing.
But to go on with the actual story of the movie, like you mentioned, I really do like the storyline between Star-Lord and his father. How you gotta get closure to what was set up in the first movie.
Yeah.
He finds out the truth and what really happened to his mom, and that's really heartbreaking. When he tells him, he's like Egon. Is it Egon? No, not Egon. Fuck that. Ego. Sorry, my bad. I'm thinking Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters?
Ego. He's the reason why Star-Lord's mom passed away. Why she had cancer. He's the one that planted that in her head.
Now we're gonna make that's gonna be a tradition, Alex. Every time you say something wrong, we'll be like Egon.
Yeah. Breadsticks.
Breadsticks.
I think there's
and also they continuing on like what they also set up in the first movie about how like Gamora and Nebula were fighting each other because Thanos made them, like that's how he raised them. And that's one thing I actually didn't like when I first saw it. Like how they are cool all of a sudden, even though they almost killed each other at one moment. Like, but I kind of got what James Gunn was going for. Like, okay, there's a huge history to their lives. It's not just like, oh, an enemy against an enemy. It's like, okay, they could have been good sisters and gone along if it weren't for Thanos and how they were raised.
Yeah, I feel bad for Nebula. Like, I really do.
Yeah. Of course, like Rocket and Groot, which now is Baby Groot, have fun banter together again, and the whole Taserface was really funny.
Oh yeah,
Taserface. That's the stupidest name ever. And they're all just laughing at him. And you get a Howard the Duck cameo again in this movie. He's talking to
you.
Did you like that one? No.
Howard the Duck, I can give
yeah.
Shit.
Okay. But yeah, and I'll get like the final fight. You get the whole action scene where like, what was it? It was the Star-Lord literally turns into like a Pac-Man kind of thing.
Oh yeah, when he's fighting Ego, yeah.
Yeah, Egon.
Yeah.
Like this is pretty close to how good the first one was.
Yeah,
in terms of humor and story and character development and all the character arc, the whole Yondu stuff, like at the end, like where he really was the father in a way. He was his dad, whatever he says. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. That was great. There's so many funny bits. I don't want to name all of them, but this is again like the first one. Like the first one, this is like really just like a fun movie about a dysfunctional family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much what. That's all I gotta say, mainly. Who wants to go next? Thomas?
I'll go next.
Okay.
Guardians 2. I think this was a very solid installment into the MCU. I think it was a really great sequel to the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It's been a few years since the first movie. And just seeing, and like Rob, I'm a really big Kurt Russell fan myself. But it's like I said with Rob, seeing Kurt Russell, Sylvester Stallone, and Michael Rooker all together in the same movie was just cool to see. All three of these guys reuniting again from Tango and Cash and Cliffhanger, respectively. And Kurt Russell, as Ego, I think he was great. A big, huge fan of Kurt Russell in general. Enjoy majority of his work. Tango and Cash, Big Trouble in Little China, Backdraft, Captain Ron. Even I enjoy Unlawful Entry. I mean, I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan, and seeing him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe was really cool to see. And once again, very solid direction by James Gunn. And once again, the characters are fantastic. Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, and Bradley Cooper, Karen Gillian. Just fantastic characters. I love the whole, and of course, Baby Groot. Of course, can't forget Baby Groot. This was just a really fun, entertaining popcorn flick, just like the first Guardians of the Galaxy was. And I think once again, James Gunn really shows that these are his movies. These are his property. He knows how to handle these characters really, really well. He took the Guardians of the Galaxy, a group of superheroes that not many people are familiar with, like the general audience member is not familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy, and he made Guardians of the Galaxy a very big household name in the MCU. And then nowadays, like, people always talk about Guardians of the Galaxy because he made these characters very, very memorable. And he, with the Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, and he gave these characters a lot of personality and things like that, really colorful characters. And I just think, James Gunn, really knows how to handle Guardians of the Galaxy. And I think I'm really looking forward to seeing what he'll be doing with Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And I think, Guardians 2 was a very. I think this was a step up for me from Doctor Strange for Phase 3. Just a very highly entertaining flick. I think it's better than the first movie, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah,
I
like it better than the first one, just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
They're kind of on the same level, though.
It's pretty close.
But it's just really cool seeing Stallone in a little role. It's always nice to see Sylvester Stallone. Kurt Russell and Michael Rooker and Chris Pratt. Just seeing all the cast members back together again, and highly entertaining flick. Like you said, a lot of really great scenes, things like that, and I love the soundtrack as well. It has a really good, really nice soundtrack, and I think this movie did a really good job of like marketing this film and not ruining things for you. Like they don't ruin the whole twist about Ego being the main focus as a villain. They kind of didn't market that way in the trailers, and I think you got to credit the movie marketing for that. I didn't really expect Kurt Russell, to be the villain, and I think you got to give credit for that. Wasn't expecting that whatsoever. That was a definite surprise for me when I saw this in the theater, and overall, I think Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a very solid movie, and I think it's a great installment into the MCU, and it's a great sequel to the first movie.
Okay, before Dan goes, I do want to mention we had someone in the chat like 10 minutes ago comment. Nerd Tubular 011 says, "Hello everyone, have an awesome weekend, Nerd on." Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, that's Vanessa, I believe.
Okay, cool.
I know that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so going last, obviously everyone hit a lot of good points. I think the five main characters are so interesting and work so well together, and the actors playing the characters and the characters themselves, you could really put them in any plot and it would probably be a good movie. I just think that they're so well done and so likable. And I want to mention Drax in particular because personally, in Guardians 1, and again, I say least liked, but that doesn't mean that I don't like him. I think Drax was probably my least liked of the Guardians in the first movie. And I liked him. He was my least liked. I feel like he really shined in this one. I really liked his character in this film. And you guys hit on pretty much the points. James Gunn did great in continuing this saga. He's kind of like, this is his baby, like Captain America's the Russo's baby.
Even though Joe Johnson was the one that started Captain America, the first movie. Poor Joe Johnson, they only had no credit.
Russo's adopted Captain America, though.
Because Russo's
Kurt Russell, he's awesome. I like Kurt Russell a lot. I thought he was great. It was nice seeing, bit Sly fan here, so it was nice seeing Sly in the film. Great comedy, great action. I personally like the first one better. There were a couple, nitpick things I thought on this movie, but that I think made me like the first one more. Main reason being just like the whole premise of them coming together for the first time in the first movie, and I liked the plot of the first movie, like the villain plot and what they needed to do, maybe a little more than the second movie. But I definitely liked the second film. That's all I got.
All right.
All right.
The Stanley cameo in this one, it was a scene where they're all fighting in space, and he has got like a suit, so he's breathing. He's talking to the aliens about stories he's been.
That's actually the Watchers.
Isn't he like one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel universe? Or something?
The Watchers?
Yeah.
No, they're kind of like Heimdall. You know how Heimdall and Thor can see like far.
Everything.
The Watchers kind of watch like the universe. They can see like in each planet. Stuff like that. I mean, they are powerful.
Yeah.
But.
And he also appears in one of the end credits. There's like 5 end credit scenes in this movie.
Yeah, and I want to mention this is going to be the birth of Adam Warlock, one of the Sovereign, who are the main. They're the gold people.
Yeah.
They're going to create Adam Warlock, and Adam Warlock is very powerful. He's on like par with Captain Marvel. So they're creating him, and that's one of the end credit scenes. Is obviously
Yeah, they're setting up for Guardians 3. Yeah.
They're looking at the cocoon, and she's like, "I think I'll call him Adam," and everyone's freaking out, like, "Oh my god, Adam Warlock!"
Yeah, now, isn't Adam Warlock in like Infinity War in the comics?
Yes. Yep.
Well, yeah. When I saw that, I was like, okay, I don't know who that is, but I'm pretty sure that's for Guardians 3. So,
right. Yeah. I think they're saving for him.
And fucking one of the other end credit scenes, you see Sly and his team doing a little tribute to Yondu after he dies.
Right. Yep.
And then you see the birth of well, not really the birth, but like Groot is growing, so he's a teenager, and he's a little smart ass now.
Yeah.
What you get more?
Would you get more of in the
Infinity War? Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you fine with Yondu dying?
Yeah, I think it was necessary to the story.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that.
That's another thing I thought. Guardians 2 did more with Yondu, which made his character more interesting. So I feel like that was handled better in the second movie. I
agree. I think it was a good send-off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about Baby Groot? Like, I feel like that maybe personally, I felt like I want to say I thought it was cute and I liked it, but I feel like it was way overhyped. Like I feel like people were going crazy for it, and I just didn't. It
was the ending of the first movie that sparked the whole.
No, yeah, but I'm asking you guys what?
Maybe a little bit, but I still liked it.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked
because you know what? At the end of the day, he wasn't even my favorite character of the movie.
Right.
He was just adorable. People just thought he was adorable. Like,
that's why he was really there for, is to be cute.
Yeah.
Well, it was definitely better than the Porgs or whatever they were.
Oh God! Here we go. Last Jedi. The damn Porgs.
All right.
That Jedi sucks.
Jesus Christ. Oh God. Anyway, and another end credit scene was there's this character that kind of like takes over Yondu's power of the arrow, the whistling arrow.
Right.
Yeah.
He's obviously nice, good, and he messes up and he accidentally stabs Drax, I believe.
Yeah, Kraglin. His name's Kraglin.
Like he's one of the few guys in the Yondu team that didn't turn on him.
Yeah.
He's Woody. You're my favorite deputy.
And then you get Stanley appearing again, and still telling the story to the Watchers in the final end credit scene. So and then this movie ended up making 389 million domestically, 863 worldwide.
And was that more than the first movie?
That was more than the first movie.
Yeah,
not by a huge lot, but it did make a little more.
Well, the first movie made 773 million was the first movie, so it made considerably a little bit more profit than the first.
And this budget was pretty close to 200, so it was expensive, but they made a huge profit. Yet again, Incredible Hulk is the only flop for Marvel so far. Yep, but overall, we all like Guardians too, right?
Yeah, I definitely say I think it's better than Doctor Strange in the Phase.
It is better than Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, it is. It's getting a 7.7, so it's just below Civil War.
And what did Doctor Strange have on IMDb?
7.5.
Yeah, that higher than I would expect.
I was expecting
that's a little too high, but
I was actually expecting like a 7.1 or 7.0.
Well, okay. Then the same year, and I'm gonna get excited for this. This is gonna be an interesting discussion. The same year we got the next one was Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yep.
And okay, I'm gonna go for. I really want to go first, but I think Dan should go first because he hasn't gone first yet.
All right, yeah, Dan can go first.
Okay. All right. Okay. So my initial reaction to this movie before seeing it was I was like, I don't know. I really wasn't. I was I wasn't excited to see it. I guess one of my concerns that I kept telling Rob was, I'm like, are they just putting Iron Man in here because the movie can't hold its own? Like Spider-Man can't hold his own, you know? Like, is that why Iron Man's in this movie? So after watching it, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, they did it because of the comics. That's why.
Yeah, and Rob always told me that. So yeah, it's not like it wasn't like shoehorned in.
No, it's not like they added him to get more butts in the seats. Even though that was a good marketing tool, it's in the comics. That's
yeah. They were following something from the comics. Right. So right off the bat, I'll say Michael Keaton. Big fan of his. I thought he was great as the Vulture. I like that they showed. I just liked his backstory. Like, he just was like a working guy, and he was just like, "What? Like, you're taking our jobs here. Kicking us out from doing this." So essentially, yeah. So then they start stealing parts and selling it on the black market or whatever. So I thought that was good. Tom Holland, yeah, he was. Listen, I don't want to compare. Tobey Maguire, I really like.
You don't want to compare, but you're gonna do it anyway.
No, I won't. I'm gonna be really quiet. I like Tobey, but I like Tom. I think Tom does a good job too.
Thank you.
I didn't like Andrew Garfield.
I'm not talking
about you. There was good action scenes. I'm not like a big Spider-Man. Like, I don't have all this knowledge about Spider-Man. I know Rob has a lot of Spider-Man knowledge, so his review will probably be better than mine. But
a lot, but
yeah. So the scene that sticks out to me that I really liked was when when Spider-Man was crushed by the building after Vulture crushed the building on him. And he panics, and I just feel like Tom Holland does such a good job at playing a kid. Like, that's what a kid would do. He would panic. I mean, it doesn't matter that he's got all these powers. He's still a kid. So I feel like that aspect of that character was really well done. I also like, and you mentioned this in Civil War, they skipped over. We don't need more origin story garbage. Okay, we know we know the story. Skip over that. That's fine. Which brings me to, again, what was cool about the movie having Iron Man in the film was that we got to see that Tony Stark was building his suit and made it. It was different. We hadn't seen that in the other Spider-Man movies. In the other Spider-Man movies, it was just Spider-Man and he made a costume and he has a costume. This one he's got all this tech. That was cool. I feel like the third act was underwhelming. It didn't have anything really it wasn't like a bad villain per se. Like I said, I thought Michael Keaton did actually a good job. It just was the situation. I don't know who was the director. Thomas, do you know? Or
the director of this was, I believe, I want to get his name right.
John Watts.
John Watts, yeah.
Okay, and you know what? Here's the thing. Because of the fact we already had 3 Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies and then 2 Andrew Garfield starring films, it was like, we've all seen, this wasn't like something new. It wasn't like Spider-Man hadn't been on the big screen for like 20 years. So I feel like the odds were stacked on him to give us something new. And I think he did that in some aspects, but in other aspects, he didn't do it so well. So, I'm trying to think of more specific things about the film. I feel like the film is fine. I
really want to go next.
Now, going into, sorry to cut you off here, Dan, but when you mentioned when you asked about the director, John Watts, I know he directed a film called Cop Car with Kevin Bacon. You ever see it?
Yep. Cop Car? No, I own it.
And he also directed the movie Clown.
Yep.
Which I liked.
Yeah, and I haven't seen that either.
And you know what? Not to go off topic a bit, but I appreciate that movie, Clown, way more now after seeing Terrifier, which I hated. So
Terrifier is overrated, man.
Yeah. But let me go next. It's funny you see that word, overrated. Speaking of overrated, I did allude to this when I was talking about Marvel movies get praise, a lot of them, and most of the time it is justified. This got a lot of praise, and I don't think it was justified. Here comes the controversial comment now. I think this is the most overrated MCU movie. Yeah.
I don't know if that's so controversial. I'd have to think about that.
Overrated.
Because everybody. Well, not everybody. I don't want to say
I don't
that,
ever hear you
but
really.
a lot of people I kept hearing. Best Spider-Man movie ever. This is so much better than. I heard a lot of that.
I never heard that. I heard that people thinking that Tom Holland is the best.
No, I heard that the movie was the movie was the best Spider-Man movie. I heard a lot of that. And it's funny because I'm also hearing the same. I've also heard the same things about Into the Spider-Verse, which I think that movie's a lot better.
That
movie's so much better. But this is like, okay, there are good aspects in the movie. I'm not saying this is a bad movie. There are, like you mentioned, like the stuff with Tom Holland's portrayal as Peter Parker. Yeah, it's really good. Definitely makes the character relatable. Stuff with Michael Keaton, how he screwed over in the beginning. He was just a working man, and they completely lay him off and all his coworkers. They're out of jobs. He's got to pay his bills. So it leads to pretty much taking a lot of the weapons that were left in the Avengers, which is okay. It's a plot hole because in the beginning of this movie, you see it takes place right after Avengers 1, and then it says 8 years later. So
Marvel already said they messed up.
They already admitted it.
Yeah, that's okay. Even though they admit it was a mess up, like that's something like, guys, you done a good job with continuity. Why did you mess up? Like, what the hell are you thinking?
Not to stop you. So, what did they decide? What is the real time difference?
Because again, okay, I just want to mention this because in Infinity War, Tony Stark says, "Oh, the stuff in New York that has given me nightmares for 6 years." This movie takes place before Infinity War, but it's 8 years after Avengers. That makes no fucking sense.
Then in Civil War, he had power for 6 months. So whenever
just
at it,
again, they really. I think this was like the first big
I
mess of continuity.
I remember seeing this in theaters with my buddy, and he looked over at me and he's like, "Dude, something's wrong here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I thought I was the only one that thought that."
8 years later,
I think add up.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem with the movie is the whole teenage high school storyline they got going in the movie. I didn't care for it at all. Like him going to the homecoming dance, all that stuff. It's just so. I hate to say this, but it's very just like Disney Channel TV show type of humor that I didn't think it was really all that funny.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny that you say that because when you say like Disney Channel like stuff, because the girl who played Michelle is actually a Disney Channel star.
It's like that's another thing. I didn't like her. I didn't like her character at all. I thought she was honestly, I didn't think she was funny. I didn't think.
Well, let's go into tension, and I'm just in here to.
I know what they're trying to do. I'm a big John Hughes fan, so like every time I see these modern teenage movies try to make tribute to his movies, they always do it badly, in my opinion. They never actually get it right. And I know what they're trying to do. Like they're doing the whole her character was kind of like Allison in Breakfast Club. Oh, like the kind of like the outsider chick who was like
salty.
And it's like, guys, like whatever. I mean, it's like. I didn't care for any of the other teenage characters. I thought that was as a huge part of the movie I didn't like. I think that's what hurts the movie for me.
I guess that means you weren't a fan of Ned.
He was fine. But
Ned, the fat one.
Yeah, the fat kid. The fat. Okay. I didn't mind him too much, but I'm talking about the other characters, like his whole freaking what's like the group they had that went to the field trip.
What's his name? The bully. I thought he was cat.
Oh, he was awful.
Who was?
Flash.
Yeah, they were going for like a not a tough guy bully, but like a
guy who talks.
Kind of like a smart ass.
That's lame though.
Now, I remember. I don't remember like specifically, but I remember. Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, he's just like, oh, Penis Parker.
Parker. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. It's
That's
like
just lame humor.
Michael Bay.
See, they didn't say shit like that, and like they didn't have that type of humor in John Hughes movies. They had voice smart, yeah. It's so dumb. And like I know you mentioned that you like you mentioned you like this. What's that?
I said, God, this movie sucks.
No, I just like again, like I said, it's overrated. But
I get what you're saying.
but also like I know you said that you like the suit, the new upgrade. Honestly,
Oh no, I just thought it was something different. I didn't have any problem.
it's different. It's different. I get that, but it's like I don't know. I mean, I feel like to me, I like it. I like the tradition of Peter Parker makes his own suit, and it's it works for what he does. I know. I don't know. I would have been fine if because in Civil War you don't see you don't know that he has all these devices and all this. There's like a voice talking to him and all that stuff. That's real in this movie.
yeah.
So it's like
Do we know for sure if it's the same suit though? Do we know?
I believe it. I believe it is because this movie like also it starts off like right after Civil War where Tony Stark takes Peter Parker back to his home in New York.
Yep.
In Queens. So I think it's the same suit.
I'm trying to think in Homecoming, wasn't it like activated and in that movie he was like, whoa, what's this? Like when
he was testing other things.
Yeah.
So it's not like he did have it in Civil War.
He did have it in Civil War, it just wasn't activated.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So.
yeah, all that stuff I wasn't really crazy about either. But like I said, like Michael Keaton and Tom Holland's portrayal as Peter Parker, that's good, and that makes the movie at least somewhat entertaining. But man, it's like again, it's like maybe I'm just looking at it as like, oh, I just prefer the more traditional Spider-Man story.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Even watching it again, I still have issues with that. So it's like I know you guys are not. Rob and Dan are not a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but honestly, I prefer to watch those over this. The only one I think it's worse than this is Spider-Man 3.
Of course.
And I guess you could say Venom.
Well, it's not technically like a Spider-Man movie.
No, it's Spider-Man character. So.
Well, I'll talk about like a Spider-Man movie in general.
Sure. But like, but I think Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse was fantastic.
It's a lot better, and that one justified it.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
Fantastic Spider-Man movie.
But one thing I thought the movie was gonna. One thing I thought that was gonna suck about the movie was like I thought Iron Man was gonna be in it too much, or like oh no he's in it just.
That's actually a point I'll be making.
And it works.
My thoughts about it.
And I like that the whole too, like how he's trying to give him advice, but he won't listen, and he's trying to do too much for his own good. That's right. Good.
Yeah.
But overall, it's an okay movie. But I just think, dude, it's not great. It's not even the best Spider-Man movie. Like not even close.
Right.
That's where I'm coming from. But yeah, I'm done. It's not like I know it's not like I hated the movie, but I don't. I just think it's just overrated.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was just middle ground. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's I'm trying to say. But like this movie is again, it's loved, so it's, I don't know about that. Yeah, what's to go next?
You want? I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
Okay. I say for Spider-Man Homecoming, I honestly, I'm actually just looking at some of my notes here. Actually, that's why I'm looking down. Just looking at some of my notes here when I actually because I watched the movie not too long. I think this past week on one of my days off, and I figured I took some notes on the movie. So I'm just looking down at my notes right now. But I think Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't really know what to expect going into this movie. Some of the trailers I liked, but I was really excited to see it because of Michael Keaton because I'm a big Michael Keaton fan, and it was just really cool to like see him in a superhero movie again after in Batman. This time he's the villain, so I thought that was kind of cool. It's like a switch of the role. And I think, I probably, out of all of you guys, I think I probably enjoyed it the most. I think this film was fun. I still think, though, I wouldn't say like it was like I wouldn't say like because I remember like some of the people that I know around here saying that it was like the best Spider-Man movie ever. I wouldn't say it's like the best Spider-Man movie ever. I still probably say that's Spider-Man 2 with Sam Raimi. But I still think, though, this is a very solid Spider-Man movie, in my opinion, because I like the way that Tom Holland portrayed Peter Parker and Spider-Man because, Peter Parker is a kid. And I think, Tom Holland looks that right age. Even though he's in his 20s, he still looks like a teenager in high school. And I like that, and I like the way he portrays the character of Peter Parker. I think Tom Holland does a great job. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of his in the future, if he ever in the sequel and things like that. I think Tom Holland, very solid job as Spider-Man. Michael Keaton as the Vulture. They basically took a villain that was a joke, in the Vulture, and they made him pretty badass. They made a really badass villain in the Vulture because they made him different. They made him like an arms dealer, and I think that's probably for the better because who wants to see a bald man with wings flying around? That looks so silly.
Yeah, it's an old guy.
But it's like when you look at like the pictures in the comic books, you're like, really, the Vulture? Like, who would want to go with this guy in a movie? And I think the way they changed it up was for the better. They made him an arms dealer. They made him more menacing and more badass. And having a veteran actor like Michael Keaton works because Michael Keaton is a very established actor. The Batman movies and
Beetlejuice.
All of his comedies that he did over Beetlejuice. I mean, just fantastic actor all around, Michael Keaton.
Jack Frost.
I think that's an underrated movie, Jack Frost. I think
it's better than the horror movie version.
They're two different movies. I can't really compare them.
Okay.
One's a family film and one's an R-rated horror movie. But Michael Keaton, though, did a great job as the Vulture. Pretty badass villain, considering the Vulture is not really a popular character for villains. But and I like the other supporting cast members as well. I like the guy who played Ned. I thought he was fine. I know some people say he was. I know some people might find him annoying. I personally didn't find him annoying.
But the porn joke was a little too much.
The what joke?
The porn joke.
Yeah, that was, I will admit, that was a little but I still think the character of Ned was fine for the most part. The Zendaya as MJ, I guess you could say the MJ character. I personally, I could take or leave her. I couldn't really care less. I was really more into the Tom Holland and Ned stuff, Peter Parker and Ned. I thought those were better characters than her. The little girl who played Betty Brant, she was there too. Didn't really care either. Granted, I know what they were going for with Flash Thompson. There was like a different kind of like Flash Thompson from like the other Spider-Man, because in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man, he was more of a jock, really big tough guy, bully.
Comics too, I believe.
Yeah, and they went with something a little different, and I just didn't, I wouldn't say like like some of the humor with Flash and just the way he comes off is just kind of weird. I mean, I like the kid who played Flash. I know he was in the Grand Budapest Hotel, and he was really good in that. But his Flash Thompson character couldn't care less. He could take it or leave it. Wasn't really into the character, but the other cast members, and that was one thing too. What Alex pointed out, how he was worried it was going to be like when they were pushing Iron Man and all the marketing. I was really afraid that this was going to be like, oh no, like this is going to be like
Iron Man 4,
but it's like Iron Man Jr. and it's like I'm like, oh my god, it's like Spider-Man's going to be kind of pushed to the background a little bit. It's going to be more about Iron Man. It's going to be like Iron Man 4, and I'm like, I don't really want to see Iron Man 4. I already saw 3 Iron Man movies. I want to see a Spider-Man movie, and thankfully that wasn't the case. And granted, they do push Tony Stark a lot in the marketing, but he's really in it for like only like a couple scenes, like here and there.
Like 10 minutes tops.
At least like 10, 15 minutes at least. And for the little bits that Tony Stark has in there, he does fine. I mean, I think he was in the movie for as long as he was allowed. I mean, it wasn't too much time. It is a Spider-Man movie, not an Iron Man movie, and I like the fact that they focus on Spider-Man because he's in the title. So I like that. So the marketing was a little misleading because they were trying to make it look like Iron Man 4. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. But I also really enjoy some of the other side characters. Like, I think Marissa Tomei does fine as Aunt May. I like Donald Glover. And the other, I think it has very solid direction by John Watts. And also a little fun fact too. I don't know if you guys know this, but the voice of his suit is actually Jennifer Connelly.
And Lee's Hulk.
Surprisingly enough.
Man,
I knew when Ang Lee reference.
All this Ang Lee talk, Ang Lee Hulk talk actually paid off.
Well, Jennifer Connelly married to Paul Bettany.
And on top of that too,
For real?
For real, yeah.
for real.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Now going back to Spider-Man: Homecoming, I think there were some really fun bits of humor. Like one of my personal favorite bits of humor in the movie was when he gets stuck inside the warehouse, and he feels like he's been in there forever, and he's only been in there for like 30 minutes. I thought that was kind of funny.
He's got a low attention span.
Yeah, I like some of the action bits in there as well. The end thing with him on the airplane and being dragged by the airplane.
That's another thing. That's another problem. I didn't think the action scenes were that great, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
They felt overwhelming.
I think there were some fun bits of action, like when he's climbing up the Washington Monument. That was pretty.
That was okay.
Yeah, there were some. I mean, I wouldn't say like John Watts wasn't really that. I mean, his action scenes were decent, but like when I think about like action scenes in like Marvel movies, I always go back to the Russo brothers with Civil War because those guys know how to direct action.
Yeah.
John Watts. I mean, I wouldn't say like maybe it would have been more interesting with like maybe like another director. I mean, I think John Watts did fine for the direction, but imagine like having somebody
Sam Raimi
who can direct action like do this in the movie.
Yeah, Sam Raimi.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned like how like Sam Raimi's movies did a lot of good stuff already. It's like, yeah, that's not a problem with this movie. It's like I even put I know you guys don't like the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but like even that movie like did some things that the Raimi movies didn't, and it's like all those 5 movies beat these movies to the punch. Like it's not that much left to do with Spider-Man in a solo movie.
Yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying. It's like it was hard.
That's why,
we've seen so much
not
already.
to give anything away. That's why one of the reasons why I'm not really pumped for Far From Home. So
I don't want to get into it, but I think that I'm more interested in Far From Home than Homecoming.
I do like how they're using villains we haven't seen before in that movie. I do like that. I appreciate that. I'll give the credits due. I appreciate with this movie. Like we haven't seen Vulture. They did something. They didn't do the Goblin again, or they didn't ever use other villains.
Well, I just like the fact that they're not in the U.S. I think that could bring a new.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But Rob.
So like overall, I say Spider-Man: Homecoming is a very solid. So I figured I'd just wrap up and just say like I got all my points across, but I just figured I just wrap up by saying Spider-Man: Homecoming is a very enjoyable movie in my opinion. I enjoyed it. I probably enjoyed it the most out of all 4 of us. But you go ahead now, Rob.
Nah, it's Rob's favorite. Here we go.
This is going to be a rant. I did not like.
Oh my god!
Woo!
I just recently rewatched it, and I was fucking bored. I was just bored. Like I don't know. Honestly,
I'm not exaggerating my reactions. I'm actually really shocked because I thought I was gonna be the one that liked it the least out of the 4 of us. But this actually,
I'm actually gonna grab a drink real quick, guys. But you guys keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things I liked. I liked Michael Keaton as Vulture. I think he was the best part of the movie. That car scene where he's like, "If you mess with me, I'll kill everybody."
Best scene of the movie.
That was great. Okay, I like that. Tom Holland, I like him as Peter Parker Spider-Man. That's fine. Everybody else, I hated. I didn't care. I didn't care about anybody else. They didn't even need Iron Man in it. The parts that they did were fine, but I think the movie would have still been the same without him. Here's my main gripe with the film. I didn't like how he had so much trouble with what he was doing, but in Civil War, he was taking on other heroes and webbing them up and stuff with no problems. He even took on Captain America and he held his own. I didn't like how he had so much trouble with Vulture. He had so much trouble with Shocker. He had so much trouble with just things in general. I mean, here in Civil War, here's Iron Man throwing up a picture. He's like, "Oh, that's you," and it shows him swinging, stopping a car, and saving people. And he didn't do any of that shit in this movie. It's like he was tripping over himself. He was fumbling. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with him in this movie? I know he was trying to get his suit. He was trying to work his suit out. He's trying to get all that stuff out. I understand that. But I felt like the warehouse scene, like that was fucking like when he was in that warehouse. I'm like, okay,
Holy shit!
I'm like, he was sitting there and he was like, "Oh, how did we get out of here?" Oh, he's talking to himself. He's like, "Okay." He's like talking to his kid. He's like, "Oh," he's like, "What do you like to do?" And it's just like, what the fuck are we watching?
Oh my god! I'm literally shocked that you disliked it that much.
Shocker was wasted.
Yeah, I agree with that. I forgot to mention that.
The main Spider-Man villain, he was wasted.
Scorpion, what's his name? Is not in the
That was
movie?
that was the end credits.
We're gonna set up like this. They're trying to set up like the
Sinister Six.
Okay. And
We've done that. We've seen that before.
I thought MJ was dumb. I didn't care for her character. Like she.
You know
just
what?
had
I appreciate Kristen Dunst more now.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, but I agree with Alex. I agree with Alex that none of the action scenes were memorable. I don't think any of them were. Honestly, I'll give you this: The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 had more memorable action scenes.
Yes. Damn right. Totally.
I don't like how he had so much trouble. I felt like he was like a first timer, and he shouldn't be a first timer. He wasn't, because this is
in a way he was. It's like the movie contradicts itself.
It does. You know, the stuff with Happy Hogan and him. I mean, that was fine,
okay.
but it was fine. But yeah, he had so much trouble rescuing people, and I felt like the movie just couldn't get going. And just like, okay, come on, like let's get going. Michael Keaton by far carried the film. I think he just carried it. I loved it. He was great. His character was great. I love the dialogue. I don't think the comedy worked as well. Ned was okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, after seeing it again, I think this movie is a lot lower on my list now.
Would you say like bottom 5?
There's a bottom 5 talk again.
I'd have to go over it again, but it's definitely low.
It sounds like it is bottom 5 for him, though.
I did not like it. I don't know.
It sounds like it is bottom. It sounds like it is bottom 5 for him.
It's not.
Yeah, you really ranked it on this.
Look, it's not lower.
That's awesome. I love this. I love it.
It's not lower than the Thor: The Dark World. It's not lower than Incredible Hulk. Let me just say that, okay? But,
and see, this is why Rob always has my respect. Like he tells it how he really feels.
It's really just I'm looking.
Oh, you guys too. I'm not just trying to say like just him. Everybody here.
No, but I'm looking forward to Far From Home because I agree with Dan. Like it seems like something different, but this movie just bored the shit out of me, man. I don't know. It just did.
I mean, one thing that does worry me, it's the same director, so hopefully he does a better job with the action scenes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I would forever say that my favorite Spider-Man is probably Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
So
yeah, that one. Okay, that Spider-Man 2 to this day still has the best action scene in any Spider-Man movie. The train scene.
Quite a few.
Just the train scene alone blows anything away than in Homecoming.
But that one scene in Civil War, to me, is better than any of the scenes.
Yes, I totally agree. And like the Russos really got Spider-Man so right in this one. And Tom Holland does good, but it's like this version of Spider-Man is not strong. Like
it just goes to show you in like the right hands how a director can really form the film on how the character should be or.
And I think they spent too much time in high school, like the whole high school scenes and stuff.
Wasn't good.
They spent too much time on that.
Because another thing, like you guys are older than me, so like the whole current high school thing that you have going, like it's not relatable to you guys. Not even to me, to be honest. They have drones and shit. Like I didn't have that in high school.
I thought it was stupid. Like when Zendaya, he's like, why are you in detention? You're not in detention. She's like, I'm here just to draw people's faces in their emotions. I'm just like, well, is that supposed to be funny?
Again, that in the party scene where there's like, I can't believe you guys are here at this lame party. How come you're here? Am I here? What the hell are you talking about? Get out of here.
What's on with her? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
You're more creepy than
Get a life.
Exactly. He's creepy. It's like, get the hell out of my sight. Creepy.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I didn't like it, but whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm actually shocked that Rob likes it less than I do.
Like I said, I watched it. I wasn't expecting that.
I did too. I still feel the same way. As I first watched it, I was like, okay, I guess, whatever.
Yeah, it's
middle of the
not-
road Spider-Man movie.
Not the worst MCU film.
It holds the same rating as Doctor Strange, 7.5.
I like Doctor Strange way better.
I actually, we're watching it both again. I prefer Doctor Strange, to be honest, a little bit, just a little bit. I don't know. It's kind of the same. Whatever. I do have to think about that. But you mentioned how, Thomas, like you were worried that it was gonna be Iron Man 4. At the end, it kind of turns into Iron Man 4 once Peter decides to not take the new suit, the brand new suit, and then you have Pepper cameoing, and then you have the banter with Pepper, Tony, and Happy in the engagement ring. So like Happy Hogan says like, I had this engagement ring. I've been holding on to the engagement ring since 2008. And like, okay. Iron Man came out in 2008.
Look at it this way: cut out all the Iron Man scenes. Cut them out. Do you think the movie would have been that much different? Like just
it does, but you do leave out the whole. Tony Stark is his Uncle Ben in a way. In this movie.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I'm talking about like not behind the scenes, but I'm talking like when he shows up in his suit and he saves the boat.
Someone's got to save the boat.
Well, Spider-Man still could have, though. I mean, I still think he could have. You know what I mean?
I feel like this movie was deliberately depowering Spider-Man.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. Depowering him. Exactly.
Because
that's something they need to fix in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we already saw him in Civil War kicking ass, and now all of a sudden in this movie, like you mentioned, the wording you used was great, like fumbling.
Like
he was like fumbling around.
Winter Soldier has that vibranium arm, and he stopped it, and he's like, "Dude, you have a metal arm." It's like, look how strong he is. And I felt in this movie he was getting hit by Shocker, and then like, what the hell?
And where's Spidey sense? But then again, that's an issue. That's an issue I have with all the Spider-Man movies. They're really the Spidey sense is inconsistent in every Spider-Man movie. So whatever.
We can move on.
Okay. So yeah, really surprisingly split reaction to Spider-Man: Homecoming. Wow, it's crazy. But yeah, Stanley cameo in this movie. Oh shit, I'm blanking again. Sorry.
Because he's so weak.
Thomas, can you help me out again?
Was he the bus driver?
No, that was Infinity War.
Or was he a neighbor?
Oh yeah, he was a neighbor. Where like that scene.
Yeah, keep it up there.
Hey, my car or something.
Yeah. When Spider-Man accidentally attacks the guy who was trying to get in his own car. Again, like not really knowing what he's doing. I like the old intro. You know how you see the Marvel intro, the Marvel Studios logo. I like how they put the Spider-Man music in it.
Yep.
Oh, that
was cool. And
what about sorry.
Yeah, I know. I like how now I'm not sure which movie started this, but like they're showing like actual like video while they're showing the Marvel Studios logo of other Marvel Studios. Like, that's cool. Like it's like the universe is like completely established and it's keeping going strong. Despite a movie like this to show for real. So
I wanted to know, what do you guys think of now that Aunt May knows he's Spider-Man?
Okay.
Like at the ending,
Again, it's a funny moment as a comedic moment,
Yeah.
but I don't like it.
Is there a I mean, comics does she not know, or what? What's the?
see, that I don't know, but the whole thing was that he's
because
no one.
why would she let him not from now on? Why would she let him be Spider-Man?
I mean, in Civil War, he made a big deal. Like, if she finds out I'm Spider-Man, blah blah blah. It's
But
like,
you know what? That's one thing I don't like about the Far From Home trailer. Like, she seems to should be cool with him being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't like that at all.
I mean, maybe if they bring the snap back and when they bring everybody back, you know, maybe everyone's like different. Like, as
That's
far as-
stupid.
Yeah, fuck Endgame.
Oh yeah, but okay. So this movie went on to make 334 million domestically,
7.5 we already established that.
and 880 worldwide.
Oh shit.
The budget wasn't so high like the last couple of Spider movies. This only cost like 170. It kind of shows like it doesn't have a epic some epic action scenes like the other Spider movies had. The end credits, you can see the Captain America thing, like the video, it was PSA video thing. They're watching gym class.
I thought that was funny.
That was good.
Like,
That was good.
Patience,
Fun,
patience is
right?
the key.
So you screwed up.
Yeah.
You're in detention.
And I like how they mentioned he's featured at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys mentioned already the Scorpion Easter egg.
Yeah.
It happens in he tells
They couldn't make it more obvious. He had a scorpion tattoo. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
who's that?
well, yeah, it's for casual fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this, setting up a possible Sinister Six, which again, that's something that was already kind of done in Main Spider-Man 2, even though that movie didn't end up having Sinister Six eventually. So, well, I don't know. Yeah, Homecoming. Controversial opinions tonight on this one.
Yep.
So again, 2017. This one, we still had another MCU movie, and that was Thor Ragnarok.
Yep.
Directed by, I want to pronounce his name, Taika Waititi. Asian director.
Luke Skywalker style.
I guess I'll go first because this is my turn to go first, I guess.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you guessed right.
Yeah. Rewatching this movie again, I like it more than I used to. It is a fun movie. It is the best of the Thor movies. Now that I will watch them again. Okay, the whole comedic thing, bringing a comedy into a Thor movie, I like a lot of parts are funny, but they did make Thor too much of a dummy. In my opinion. Yeah, like there's parts where he's as like a goofus. Like he's like, It didn't really need it. Yeah, like a
Did you
doofus.
just gay and doofus? A goofus?
Goofus. Yeah.
Goofus?
He's a goofus. Yeah. But I still like, I still do like the Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. Oh man.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. I still like the whole stuff with Thor and Loki. Oh no, Thor discovers Loki was ruling Asgard for a few years.
I love the Matt Damon thing.
Yeah, they're doing the reenactment of the Loki's death scene in Thor: The Dark World. And you have Matt Damon playing Loki. Sam Elliott plays Odin, and Liam Hemsworth plays fake Thor.
Yep.
Hey, really quick, just want to interrupt you. Dan and I went to go see Justice League, and Thor Ragnarok was playing.
On Justice League opening night, they started to play Thor.
We were
3.
sitting there, and all of a sudden, they showed the Justice League trailer, as we were going to watch Justice League. And then Thor Ragnarok started playing.
Wow.
Wow.
See, I think that's a Disney conspiracy that made Justice League flop.
I was pissed, man. We had already seen Thor too, so
Uh-huh.
I know.
Anyway.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange is in this movie, and that's one thing I forgot to mention. How in the end credits of Doctor Strange, you see a clip of this movie setting up their like friendship.
Yeah.
And get more of this movie, where there's a trust like beginning with Thor and Doctor Strange, where you get a little bit more of that in Infinity War. But overall, this is a simple movie, and I enjoyed it. And Hulk was really good in the movie, really funny. He talks more because he's been Hulk for 2 years, ever since Ultron. At the end of Ultron, he hasn't changed back to Bruce Banner. And Kate Blanchett as Hela was pretty good. And also. You have Jeff Goldblum in the movie. I wish Jeff Goldblum and Sam Elliott were in the same scene, so you would have a kind of funny Jurassic Park reunion. Just saying.
Oh, yeah. You keep saying Sam Elliott. You mean Sam Neill, right?
Haven't kept saying Sam Elliott? Shit. My bad.
Man.
You said it like Sam Elliott. I'm like,
sorry, and Lee's Hulk again. And Lee's Hulk invades the show again.
yeah.
Oh my god.
It's the mustache. And of course, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. I really liked her and her back. You get a little bit of backstory. So, what?
Whose turn is now?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. I think you should speak. No, so overall, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than the first one, and definitely more than the second Thor. I like the use of what oh my god, I'm blanking a lot of things. It's been a long day. Does the song they use
from
Immigrant Song, right?
Yeah, Immigrant.
That's
song.
what the Immigrant.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
They use it twice in the movie, which is interesting. It's a good, fun, enjoyable movie. It's not the best, or of course not the worst, but it's in the middle where it's entertaining, and it's more of a popcorn flick. It's not too deep in storyline, but it's fun. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
Who's the next?
I forget who's the lineup.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
Well, I'll go. Or Thomas, do you want to go?
Yeah, I'll give my quick thoughts real quick. On Ragnarok. Just looking down at my notes because I took notes on this too. But Thor Ragnarok. Going into it, didn't really know what to expect because I wasn't that big on Thor 2, but so I didn't really know what to expect going into Thor 3, and I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I remember this looked pretty good. It was seemed a lot more bigger, a lot more colorful, a lot more fun. And Thor Ragnarok, definitely way better than Part 2. I mean, anything's better than Thor 2, but definitely a big step up from Thor 2. And I think this was a step up from the first Thor as well, because, the first Thor was more of an origin story, like introducing the Thor character and things like that. So of course it's not going to be as big as the later Thor movie, but but Thor 3, definitely a lot bigger, a lot more loud, a lot more colorful, a lot more a lot more to the movie. I think what sold this movie for me was the trailer with the Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. I love, because I'm a big Led Zeppelin guy myself, and that's what really sold me. I'm like, okay, I got to go see this and enjoy the movie. I think the camaraderie between Thor and Hulk was a lot of fun to watch. A lot of really funny moments between the two, especially seeing some of the moments in the trailer. Seeing Tom Hiddleston again as Loki, Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. You have people like Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum and things like that.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. And like you said, it was,
And
you know,
Thomas, did you catch the I guess I'm not sure if this was done on purpose. I'm guessing it might have been having Matt Damon play a fake actor Loki, and it's funny because he played a character named Loki in the movie Dogma.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's done on purpose. Yeah,
I wonder if that was on purpose.
I'm pretty sure it was. It's too
What
big of
movie?
a coincidence.
I forgot that was his name in that movie. Actually,
Yeah,
Oh, what movie was that again?
Dogma.
Dog. You said
Dogma.
Dogma.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Dogma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's not. I don't think it's coincidence. Yeah.
Yeah, Barta playing Loki. Yeah. Yeah.
Just want to throw that out there.
That'd be like another day for another story at Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think Thor Ragnarok had a lot going for it. It was a really fun movie, a really fun soundtrack, a lot of really nice action. I think the director does a great job. Definitely has a really unique style. I think Cate Blanchett was a lot of fun as Hela. I think she, very entertaining villain. Definitely better than the villain in part 2. This movie just has a lot going for it. It has really solid direction, has a really great style, really fun, entertaining villain, great back and forth between Thor and Hulk. Yeah, a lot of tons of fun, a lot of really great fun interactions, like really fun action. And Thor Ragnarok just has a lot going for it. I think it's my favorite. I don't think it is my favorite of the Thor movies. It's definitely the best one out of the Thor franchise, and I think this was a great installment into the MCU. I definitely say it's my favorite Thor movie, and I don't know if I would say it was probably I don't know if it would be in my I don't know if I would say it's like in my top 10 Marvel movies.
No, not for me.
Nah, I wouldn't say it's in my top 10. It's definitely not my top 5 Marvel films. I think there are better Marvel movies out there. But
Be in my top 10.
overall, I think Thor Ragnarok was a really fun. Was a fun time. I had a fun time with this movie in theaters. It was great in theaters. Really great experience. And overall, I give Thor Ragnarok a really big thumbs up. I think it's a really great installment, and I think it's the best of the Thor franchise.
Okay.
All right, so I guess Dan.
Robert Dan, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I loved this film. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. Like both of you guys were like, "Oh yeah, it was good," but like this was great. Like I really enjoyed this film.
Well, I'd say I enjoy the film too. I do say it is the best of the Thor movies.
I did too.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't get as much enthusiasm from you. I like in my mind, I thought this was going to be. Like
it's because Homecoming sucked out of it.
Oh. Oh yeah, I would definitely put this one in my top 10 for sure. It's interesting. This movie finally did what they should have done from the get-go, which I think were afraid to do, is they took it into space. It wasn't like, oh, we got to get Thor to Earth. This was they went like the Guardians of the Galaxy route, which is Thor. Thor is a space character. He's from other planets. Like that's what they needed to do, and that's why it worked so well. Besides the fact that it was hilarious, and I get what you said, Alex. It definitely. I don't want to say they made Thor dumber, but like he definitely was making comments that he probably wouldn't have made in the other films. But I think that actually was better for his character to not be so serious, because Thor 1 and Thor 2 are just not very interesting films.
See, like I'm talking about like stuff like where he has it's like a bouncing ball. He throws it to the window and it hits him back and he falls like an idiot. And and stuff like that.
Well, he thought the window was going to break. That's why he threw it, and it didn't.
Some of it's flat.
I don't know.
I think it works, but I mean, it just I understand what you mean.
Before you get back to your point, Dan, I was going to say, now that I think about it, I probably would say it's in my top 10 Marvel films. Now that I think about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I actually do. Now that
I like the movie, but I'm just saying.
You can continue on, Dan.
Go ahead.
And I'm pointing this out too. Out of all of the MCU films on IMDb, this movie is tied for 4th place for rating. It's got a 7.9.
What's it tied with?
Iron Man 1.
Oh,
It's weird because like when this movie came out, I heard not that many people complain about it, but I did hear a huge chunk of people like not liking the movie because they like what I said, the comedy in it. Like they didn't like that they made Thor a goofus.
So yeah, I mean, you got right away. It was more lighthearted, but
Yeah.
you know, I feel like the director was great. I mean, I feel like he knew where to go with it. And again, I feel like Marvel Studios were like, hey, look how well Guardians work. Let's put Thor in that type of situation.
Guardians of Asgard.
Well, even Chris Hemsworth said he was bored of the character, so he was on board with changing him.
Yeah, and I know for a fact when they were filming Infinity War, Chris Hemsworth was nervous.
He was nervous.
He didn't want to backtrack to what was Thor 1 and Thor 2.
It's like they combined Thor 3 and then some of the other ones with the Infinity War. You know, like they combined everything.
Yeah, because I'd say at this point, honestly, like Thor was one of my least liked Avengers out of the group. I just was like, okay, like this guy. But yeah, I really liked him in this film. I feel like they showed how finally we got to see how powerful he was. Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie was good. I thought Cate Blanchett was good. I mean, you could say it was like a typical villain, but she really threw herself into the role. I feel like she just went full on evil.
She had fun with it. You could tell.
Yeah, and I think it worked fine. Tom Hiddleston, he's always great as Loki, and you get more of that dynamic.
I mention this. I love the part where he's watching the Hulk and Thor fight. Oh, when he first sees Hulk and Thor's like, "Look who it is, Loki! Look who it is!" And he's like, "I gotta get out of this planet." And when Hulk is beating the shit out of Thor, Loki's like, "Yes, you know how it feels like, huh?"
Right. Yeah, they do.
I love that part. Yeah.
Great callbacks to the other films.
Yeah.
You wonder, like, when the scripts are written, like, who's sitting there, like, doing, like, let's do this.
I like the Kevin Feige and all the Marvel Studio guys. Like, they are trying to do it.
But yeah, Carl Urban, even. I mean,
yeah.
I like Carl Urban. He didn't really have a lot to do, but for what he did, it was memorable, I felt. And I love Jeff Goldblum. I know he kind of just plays himself, but like he does such a great job playing himself. So I thought that was funny. And the action scenes were good too. Oh yeah, and the
last action scene was really good.
The chemistry between Mark Ruffalo and Chris Hemsworth is good. We haven't really seen that before.
No.
I feel like they have really good chemistry. And Hulk was cool too. So I really liked this movie, man. I recently watched it again, and I'm like, man, like that movie's great. Like no question, it destroys the other two Thor movies in my opinion.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I totally agree with everything you said. Like
no Kat Dennings.
My top 10, very funny movie, best of the Thor movies. Yeah, very colorful film. The CGI was great, and like I think Hela is actually one of the best villains in the MCU because she was strong. She's pretty much like she's not really she's the goddess of death, but she really can't die. To be honest, she'll just go back down to the Netherrealm or wherever she is.
Underworld or whatever.
Yeah. But like I don't know, I really enjoyed her. And Thor, like he's got a different haircut now. He looks different. I think Chris Hemsworth was having a lot of fun with the character now that's different. I just like the whole direction about how he has to save Asgard from that Fire Lord Surtur who's in the beginning, who's made of lava. He's kind of a giant character in the comics who destroys Asgard, which happens. The Grandmaster, played by Jeff Goldblum, is actually the brother to the Collector,
right?
Who was in Benicio del Toro or whatever.
But they never say in the movie. Right?
Yeah, I don't think they mentioned that. But they did kind of a Planet Hulk thing in this, and they show after Age of Ultron, he drifted off, and that's where he ended up on Sakaar. fighting in tournaments and being the champion. So that's where he was, and that's where Thor's gone during Civil War, and Hulk's gone. So we obviously know. The minor complaints, I would say, I don't know how I feel about Hulk. Just he almost seems like a big baby. I just would like
that. I agree.
I almost like. I know they do that in the comics. He turns into like Professor Hulk, but I almost like it where I miss the Hulk where he's raging. He gets so angry that he's just unstoppable. I just wish.
Yeah, you said that they have not done a true Hulk yet.
I don't think they have. I don't think they have.
To defend it a little bit, I because he's been stuck as the Hulk for 2 years. So he's kind of learned how to speak, maybe not be as angry. He's not, you know what I mean?
I get it. No.
Yeah.
I get the point. I get the point of trying to make, and they do it in the comics. But I'm saying I prefer Hulk to be like he was. Like I prefer Hulk to be if he gets mad, they have to calm him down.
You do see a little bit of that in the movie, though.
I guess, yeah. I mean, he gets angry, but he's always angry.
Yeah.
But I love how you get to see Thor's true power. Another complaint would be Odin. I thought he was just kind of pointless.
He was.
Yeah, he's there to pick up. I know you guys said that before. He's there. He's there to pick up.
Is he tired? He like sits down. And he's like, look out there. He's like, that's pretty, isn't it?
That road down there.
You want to know where they're from, don't you?
Don't you, dude? And then Megatron blows him away. Eat that, Hannibal. But anyway, I thought he was kind of pointless, but I mean, I guess he served his purpose. He was there to just say goodbye.
I'm kind of glad they killed him off. Wait, really? Think about it. What do you think? How do you think all the actors that returned from Thor 1 and Thor 2 feel? Because they killed off all the characters they established like the first 2 movies because they're just like, we're going in another direction. Bye.
Yeah, exactly.
And like the whole he broke up with Gene Foster in between films, so yeah. Whatever.
One of the funniest things I think is when Doctor Strange makes him fall for like 30 minutes and then he brings him back. And of course Loki's into magic too, so it's kind of cool.
Right there, guys.
All right.
Okay. It's kind of cool to see Loki facing off with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is like, all right, see ya. And he just totally just.
It seems like Doctor Strange would have kicked Loki's ass though in a magic fight.
I know, like, oh man, that was cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tessa Thompson, she's a great actress. As Valkyrie,
she's always good.
Yeah, she's always good. And Korg, who was the director, the voice, that hit Korg.
That was him, right?
Yeah.
He voiced him, and
he was fun.
I guess I don't know if we're supposed to see him in Endgame or not. And there's rumors, but anyway.
We'll get to that, yes.
Well, yeah. But anyway, like the movie overall, I think was the right thing to do. I think Thor was getting boring, and like I said,
I think that was the only option they could have done.
Yeah, I mean,
at this point,
music choices, villain choices, actors and actresses.
The look of the film, I really like.
The look of the film was great, and it just had that. It almost had. Didn't it seem like it was like a retro vibe, like almost like.
The soundtrack, if you listen to the musical score, it reminded me of like Stranger Things, like the 80s. Like that kind of.
Overall, it's in my top 10. I love it. So that's my final thoughts.
Cool. I know you guys liked it, but I didn't know that much. So that's cool. I like the movie too. I don't really disagree with any of your points.
Do you like Spider-Man: Homecoming better?
No.
Okay.
But it's not in your top 10 though?
No. I think of the 3 ones that came out 2017, I thought Guardians 2 was the best one.
I'd have to say Thor 3 would. I'd put that above Guardians 2.
Yeah, I would too.
I still like Guardians 2 though.
Okay. So this movie ended up making. Before I even get to that, Stanley cameo on this one. I remember this one because it's really funny. He's the one that cuts Thor's hair.
Right, yeah.
All right, yeah.
How about that whole Willy Wonka scene? That was great when he first shows up there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And he's in the chair and he's going through, and they're playing the World of Imagination music.
Mm-hmm. That was really good. And the end credit scene. you get like a bit of a setup for Infinity War, where after people who survived Asgard, the massacre, or excuse me, genocide, they all are like pretty much in the ship, and that's their new Asgard planet. And they see a bigger spaceship come out of nowhere. It's like, oh, who's that? Like, who's that? And it's Purple Man, Thanos, coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sanctuary ship.
Yeah. But how awesome was it they finally got rid of Jane Foster and her team.
I couldn't be more thrilled.
Yeah, but in a way, it kind of messes up the whole storyline of him not being king of Asgard, because that's the reason why he decided not to be king in Thor 2, because of her.
Well, even in Age of Ultron, he talks about, oh, Jane is getting a Nobel Peace Prize. It's like they still mention her, but it's like, why?
It's because
Kat Dennings.
Oh god.
The only thing Thor 3 was missing was Kat Dennings.
Like I said, you know how the movie was funny? They could have had her in a wet t-shirt. That would have been funny. I mean, well, you know,
either that or just like show her getting run over, and then boom, that's how you explain her not being.
Well, that would be after the wet t-shirt.
Yeah.
Getting run
Oh god.
You know, Jane Foster can go to hell.
Yes, you're dead. What about Victor Salva?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my
You know
god.
what? I've never been. I don't like why everyone makes a big deal of that guy.
Yeah, listen to Dr. Stelvin. Oh, you know, who cares? You're
Yeah,
Holy shit! Hold on. Wait, Dan. Are you talking about the Stellan Skarsgård character, or like, are you actually talking about Victor Salva, or was that just a joke?
Selvig, not Salva.
It sounded like you said Victor Salva. Oh, whatever. I'm sorry.
Wait, we're talking about Thor's friend.
Dr. Stelvik.
Okay.
Selvig.
Dr. Skarsgård.
Stellan Skarsgård. But yeah. So no, Thomas, you missed that. We're just talking about how awesome Jane Foster not being in the movie, and Kat Dennings.
Yeah, I heard you guys upstairs. I was actually I had to use the bathroom real quick.
Oh, I think it's confirmed that they didn't survive the snap. Not to get ahead.
Because if they undo the snap, then.
But what about Kat?
She's dead.
Oh, Kat.
Thor 3 was only missing Kat Dennings. That's
Can't we come up with a nickname for her? You don't have a good nickname.
Boobs.
Boobs.
Oh my god. So yeah, just to wrap it up, this movie ended up making 315 million domestically and 853 million worldwide, with an 180 million budget. So yeah, it was a good, pretty big hit. Cat. Not enough cats.
Oh my god. Man.
Bob's dying over there.
All right, you catch your breath.
We're good.
You guys would never sit through a movie with us.
What's up?
You guys would never be able to sit through a movie with us.
Oh well, we'll see. A few weeks. Well, I'll maybe I have something to say about that a few weeks from now.
Actually, I think one thing really quick thing to say is a little bit off tangent. I should have mentioned this when we were on Spider-Man: Homecoming. It has nothing to do with Spider-Man: Homecoming, the movie, but I wanted to mention another point about to Rob. I remember like when we briefly mentioned about Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane. I remember. Once again, I'm really, really, really good at remembering old videos. I remember long ago when Rob first had the first channel that he had, he did a 2-part review where he had footage and all that stuff, and he ranted on Spider-Man 3. And I remember the very last thing he said before the camera shut off. He says like, "Hi, thank you for watching. This is Rob signing off." And then he turns around and there's like another scene playing from the movie, and it was Mary Jane talking with Peter, and then Rob turns back around and she's like, "Oh, see that? There she goes being a bitch." She's like, And Mary Jane off.
Yeah, that's the thing where she's like, "Don't give me the horse thing."
Yeah. It's not about you. This is about me. My career.
To be honest.
Yeah, that movie.
But I figured I mention that real quick. I just had to mention that.
Sure. Yep.
So when Dan gets back, we'll jump into the next film. I guess I should just introduce it now. Might as well.
What is the next film? I'm looking, pulling up Phase 3.
Oh, I have the Blu-ray right here. Next film, 2018.
You have it on Blu-ray? Nice.
Yeah, this time is now. This is the beginning of my Blu-ray MCU collection. Black Panther.
Blu-ray collection.
Black Panther. Directed by Ryan Coogler, who brought us Creed. You guys mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, he brought us Creed for
And River Station.
all with Michael B. Jordan. Coincidence?
Yeah. So you know how directors have sometimes cast the same actor.
You American.
So okay, this movie.
Dude.
Whose turn is it to go next? First, I mean.
Cat.
Let's see. Thor 3. Who? Alex, you went first. On
Yeah, I
that
did.
one. Right. I don't think Bob. Have you gone first in a while?
Yeah, I went.
I've gone first in a while.
I don't know.
I kind of lost count.
Okay, I'll let Thomas go next.
Yeah. So after Thor Ragnarok, this in came the very first Marvel film or first Marvel film of the new year of 2018, and it was Black Panther. Now, Black Panther, of course, directed by Ryan Coogler, who brought us Creed and Fruitvale Station, both with Michael B. Jordan in them. So that's probably why he got Michael B. Jordan on board for this movie. And Black Panther, once again, just like with Doctor Strange and all that stuff, it was a character I never knew anything about. I never even knew the character of Black Panther at all. I'm sure the general, I don't know, like the general audience member would even know who Black Panther is, just like with Doctor Strange. The
Carolina Panthers.
I never really knew much about Chadwick Boseman other than from the Jackie Robinson movie. But I liked him in the Jackie Robinson movie 42. Great movie. And that was like the only thing I ever really knew Chadwick Boseman from. And I thought he was really good in it. I'm like, oh, I know that guy from 42. And like the rest of the cast members, you have Forrest Whitaker, Angela Bassett, Michael B. Jordan, Daniel Kaluuya from Get Out, and
Dan Kaluuya.
Andy Serkis. I mean, it's just a fantastic cast of people, and I think Black Panther really was another surprise movie for me.
From Rogue One.
I think Black Panther was a really well done flick. I think it was a great movie. I think Chadwick Boseman does a great job as Black Panther. I think Michael B. Jordan does a great job as your villain. Daniel Kaluuya, who was Chris in Get Out, he's Black Panther's friend. I like Daniel Kaluuya. And it's really cool, seeing Angela Bassett, Forrest Whitaker, Andy Serkis. I think it was directed very well by Ryan Coogler. I love the world of Wakanda. It's a really beautiful looking movie. It's really well shot. I love seeing the whole world of Wakanda. It's beautifully shot. And I think Ryan Coogler overall, I think he's directed a lot of solid movies in his directing credits. And I think this is another one that I think he did a great job with. And considering he got Michael B. Jordan for Creed and for Fruitvale Station, makes sense bringing him on board for Black Panther. And I think Michael B. Jordan does a great job as the villain. Michael B. Jordan, overall, Michael B. Jordan, I like him overall as an actor. I think he's one of the best youngest actors out there today. Looking forward to seeing what he does in the future. And I'm really looking forward to seeing, too, what Ryan Coogler does next. I think that this film just has a lot going for it. It's really well directed. It has a very solid cast. Really cool seeing all these actors in here. I think Chadwick Boseman does a great job as Black Panther. And I think, Black Panther, when we get to Infinity War with the whole fight in Wakanda, I just think, overall, Black Panther just has a lot of really nice stuff to it. And I think it's a great movie. I think it was in my favorites of 2018. So I say Black Panther is definitely a big thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll go next. This movie, this is the true Lion King remake, live action remake. Because it's actually live action, and the story is pretty much very similar to Lion King, so that's why I call it the actual real live action Lion King remake. As a compliment though, because this movie is really really fucking good. And Thomas was mentioning about the cast. The cast is really good. I really liked everybody in the cast. But the thing though, the one little flaw with the movie is Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, aka Black Panther. He's not the most interesting character in the movie. Actually, the supporting characters, even Michael B. Jordan's character as Killmonger, is more interesting than him. That's not really a diss on Chadwick Boseman's acting or anything. It's just like one of those things like where I think he fits so well in Civil War, and Russo's really knew that character. I'm not saying I don't want again. It's not Ryan Coogler didn't do a bad job portraying Black Panther. It's just like I think he put the story about these other characters that were. I think the actors did just like really the supporting actors were so good in a surprising way that it kind of outshined him. I think that's it.
I mean, it's almost like Ryan Coogler. He had so many good, interesting characters. Chadwick Boseman kind of took maybe a back seat to what you're saying.
I kind of feel the opposite. I kind of feel
Really.
I kind of feel if you switch what you're saying around with Killmonger and Black Panther, I kind of feel the opposite.
Oh, okay. Because Killmonger's backstory is really good. And I know a lot of people say like, oh, it makes him a bit sympathetic. In a way, but at the same time, he's still doing awful things to get what he wants.
I kind of feel like there's no different from him being here in Creed because all he does is yell.
I disagree with that. I actually disagree. I don't think it's the same kind of performance. First of all, he's playing two different characters.
He's a different character, but I mean, I kind of feel like he'll burn it all.
Oh, you mean his style of acting
his style of acting kind of. I'm
it's
kind
the
of
same.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I can see that. But he's still good. I mean, I'm
not saying that. I think he's good. But.
And I really like his theme song in the movie. Killmonger's theme song. I really love the scene where he comes in and he's just a boss and owns the scene where like he's so confident in himself, like he wants the throne and he tells the truth of who he really is. Like my
T'Chaka's dead.
Yeah. My daddy had panther claws in his chest. Yeah. You're not the son of a king, you're son of a murderer.
They make T'Chaka be like an answer.
A bit, yeah.
What was wrong with his eyeball?
That's what everyone says. Like, what happened?
He didn't have that problem in Civil War.
He was like Sloth from Goonies.
Wait, seriously, did something happen? What happened?
Who are you talking about?
T'Chaka.
He had something wrong with his eye?
Yeah, he has like a lower eye, like.
I didn't see that.
Civil War, he looks fine, and when you watch Black Panther, something's wrong with
he's not wearing
one of his
glasses.
eyes.
He's not wearing glasses in Black Panther.
Probably.
You can't.
I don't know.
War. Yeah, he's.
But but I really like the story about like it has like a legacy kind of thing. Like okay, the mistakes of the father haunt the legacy of the son, and you see like what happened with both their stories. T'Challa and Killmonger are like they completely had. You see the two opposite sides of how their life went. When T'Challa, had royalty and everything went well for him pretty well, and then Killmonger, he had to go through a rough life, and had to do bad things to get where he wanted to. So I really like that stuff.
Yeah.
And the action scenes are pretty good. I know a lot of people complain about the CG at the end, about the rhinos and all that stuff.
That didn't bother
Yeah,
me.
it is a little. When it comes to like the MCU has had better visual effects. I don't know what happened at the end. It's not that bad, but it's like it's not really great. It's weird, and it's a little not good. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a to me this movie is I would say top 10, even top 5 best MCU movies. I mean, just
For you,
purely
for you, it's in top 5.
I think it is.
Billy,
it-
my top 10.
I think the acting and the story is the strongest of MCU films for me.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I think.
I think Rob, why don't you go next? Because it seemed like you had some things that you disagreed.
No, it's not really a disagreement. Like he was saying about about like acting chops. I felt like Chaswick. I think he does. I wish he kind of deserves something for this because people were saying Michael B. Jordan actually something for this, like as a supporting character. And I understand he's a good supporting character, but I don't think he brought anything different to the role. I mean, he was a villain that was kind of angry about what he went through. I just, as far as acting chops, I just felt like he was just Michael B. Jordan, like he always acts in a lot of his movies. But Chadwick Boseman, I thought he did a better job in this movie than in Civil War because you got to see more story from him. And I think, the fact that the way he talks, his accent, all that stuff, I thought carried out really well. So I think I don't know, I thought he did such a good job. And I really felt for his character, to be honest, because after his dad being an asshole, like,
Yeah,
you kind of, and then the other tribes not getting along with him, he has to deal with a lot of shit in this movie. So I guess that was the thing I was kind of, I guess, in a way. It was just, I felt like maybe Chadwick deserves to actually get some. But anyway, they're both really good, really good. As far as like the end battle goes, my problem was that I thought that train scene dragged on. Like when Eric Killmonger and Black Panther are fighting in that train underground thing, like that seemed to drag on forever for me. Like when he's like, oh, when the train passes by, that's when his costume is going to be less vulnerable, so you can stab him or whatever. And it's like the train will go by and they're fighting, and then they have to wait for another. It's like, what? I don't know. That just
Yeah, I do agree that action scene I wasn't into that much.
Yeah. As far as the rest of the supporting cast, like I thought everyone did good. I thought the visuals were good. This was a very character-driven story.
Yes.
All the characters were fleshed out. Even what's his name who played in M'Baku, who was in Us, forgot his name.
Oh, damn it, the guy that goes like, oh, right?
Yeah, M'Baku. He's the leader of the other tribe. He was great. There was some good comedy. And then Shuri, of course, everyone thinks Shuri is kind of like a fan favorite. She's smart, like Tony Stark. She shows that a little bit in this.
Yeah.
And I don't like. I thought the Black Panther costume, like there was different ones, like, that of course they have advanced technology. I thought that was some good way, to activate the costume. That was pretty cool. What do you think of Alyssa's claw? Like, I kind of think they should have done more with him.
I liked him here more than I did in Age of Ultron.
Well, he had more to do here, yeah, but I kind of felt like, I don't know, like maybe a little bit of a wasted character because he's actually a pretty big character in the
Well, the
comics.
movie's not about him though. It's the thing.
It's not about him, but I still think they could have done more with him.
I can see your point.
Overall, yeah, this movie does get hate and it does get the overrated rating. I don't agree with any of that. Like, I think it's a well done. When it comes to all the Marvel films, like to compare this to other ones, this one it just seems like a regular movie. It doesn't even really seem like a Marvel superhero film, to be honest. it just seems like a nice.
It's very standalone.
Yeah.
Which I like.
But like, yeah, people think this movie's overrated, and like the whole all black cast kind of thing. They're
Oh my
pushing. I don't know why that even matters, to be honest. So yeah, I think this movie's definitely in my top 10 for sure. So I really enjoyed it.
One thing I forgot to mention, I really love the culture of Wakanda that's portrayed in the movie.
Except for that guy with that thing in his mouth. What the hell?
That's from like African. That's from African culture though.
I know.
And like I remember when I
said it was weird.
When I saw that movie, when I saw it in the theater, when they first showed him, I heard some people in the back laughing. So I was like, they weren't used to seeing an image like that, you know.
I'm just wondering how he eats. That's all.
I don't know.
He just eats liquid. He puts like the milk in there and goes, right?
I guess. I just have questions.
I guess you could Google it.
Google Big Mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. It will take weeks to prepare the challenge. Weeks? I don't need weeks.
Yep.
But who wants to go next?
Well, I think it's who's left.
I'll go.
Damn, my bad. Sorry.
I'll say one thing. I'm going to disagree with both of you. I feel.
Yeah, it's good.
I feel
Blocked.
I feel Killmonger and T'Challa were equally likable in this movie. I didn't feel like one overshadowed the other. Like I thought they were both done. I thought the character development was fine for both of them, and I thought they were both fantastic. I did like Killmonger as a villain. I feel like they went. When you look at the pantheon of all the Marvel villains that they've had, he was one of the unique ones. There's like a handful of unique villains. I feel like he was a unique one.
One of the best ones, yeah.
Well, as a kid, I don't. It's kind of not what I'm saying. I'm kind of saying like as a character, like I thought he was great, but as Michael B. Jordan's performance kind of felt like he didn't put anything new to the character. Is what I'm saying. Like you know what I mean? Like the way he was yelling and stuff is just kind of like what he does in Creed. Like when he's in the ring, like come on, yeah, like it's just, that's what I mean.
Oh yeah, like he was like a different. He didn't change his.
He didn't have to change anything to play the role.
Right. I get what you're saying.
That's as a character though, yeah, he's great. So,
I disagree with that, but I guess I do see that in a way, I guess. But
they didn't need to do that.
Get your sick ass away from me, old man.
Yeah. No, and I do agree with Alex. I thought I thought it was interesting and again new that we saw this whole other culture, Wakanda, in Africa. I thought that was just kind of a neat thing, and the fact that it was like technologically more advanced than anywhere else. I mean, and they show you in the movie that is it Siri? Is that what his sister's name is? Shuri. She's even more. They're even more like she's got tech that Stark doesn't even have. As you'll see in Infinity War, like they're like giving tech to Stark. Stark is supposed to be like the know-all guy. Great plot. I mean, actually, Alex, that is true when you think about it. It is a lot like The Lion King, but they did it well.
Watch. I'm calling this now. After this new Lion King movie that's coming out, if it's really shot for shot the same thing, or at least beat for beat the same thing as the old cartoon movie, watch people who are gonna say, you know what, Black Panther is a better Lion King movie than the Lion King remake. Watch. I want to be surprised that happens. That's the reason why I'm not even excited for this new Lion King movie. It's the same movie.
I'm actually with you on there. I don't know why. I'm not.
It looks shot for shot. And you know what? Remember the last shot for shot remake? Psycho, yeah. Let's not give Lion King a pass. Okay, but yeah.
Well, I think Jungle Book did okay.
But that movie wasn't shot for shot.
Yeah, I like Jungle Book too.
It wasn't shot for shot, but I mean, we don't know if this is shot for shot or not.
But I'm saying, just judging from all the marketing so far, and it's shot for shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So overall, The Lion King was good, and
You know what? We just call it the Panther King, I guess.
yeah.
Good King.
I think the weakest part of this movie was the third act. I agree with you.
Yeah.
The Black Panther Killmonger, the fight was not. They could have done so much more, like with that. It just was like so generic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I just was like, I don't know why they couldn't have done something. I just think about and this obviously is like think about The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, remember that the lightsaber fight between. They were like on a bridge. He was hiding at some point. There was like a lot to it. It was just like they wanted to like it was just like thrown together. Like, oh, let's just get him down here into this training area. So yeah, I didn't. That was bad. But other than that, really, I don't have any other bad critique for the film. I would say it is probably in my top 10 favorite as well. So yeah, that's all I got.
Yep.
The fight scenes at the waterfall, the challenges were a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and especially the scene at the bar, the nightclub.
Yes. Yeah.
And the car chase was cool too, I thought.
Yeah.
It's just for some reason the third act action scenes just felt they lacked. I don't know what happened. But
All right,
any other go ahead.
No, that's all I got.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty much mine. Yep.
Oh, okay. You guys got nothing else to say about Black Panther?
I think Black Panther says it.
No nitpicks. No nitpicks.
It's getting a 7.3.
That's low.
Which is actually
I
low.
would think.
That is
Yeah.
surprisingly low. Yeah. Considering how much of a phenomenon it was.
Yeah.
IMDb sucks.
It does.
What?
IMDb, like, yeah, it's a lot of the user ratings. You just can't really tell if people are actually legit.
Nah.
No, that's the thing. If you go and look, there are people rating movies like 1s and 10s, and they're definitely doing it to try to change the number.
Yeah.
But the thing is like when you have a movie that has like 80,000 votes, like it's going to be negligible if people are voting 1s and 10s. That's why you'll see when movies first come out, they'll have like a really high or really low rating, and then as time goes on, it'll change because the average is coming into effect. It's not just the fanboys voting.
I still like IMDb better than Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Mhm.
I guess we might get into Rotten Tomatoes when we get into Captain Marvel, but we'll see. But the Stanley cameo in this one, you guys mentioned the nightclub. He makes a cameo in that scene where he takes the ships away from the agent, Martin Freeman's character. But it's cool that he was in Civil War, so they brought him back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was it? What was it?
In the nightclub.
nightclub.
Agent, I forgot his name.
The CIA agent from Civil War.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about? The after credits?
No, the Stanley cameo.
Everett Ross.
Yeah.
Everett Ross.
Yeah.
I don't remember. What was it? I sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
The nightclub scene. Stanley's cameo.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So he takes over the poker table.
I guess you can.
Yeah, that's right.
At the end credit scene in this movie, shoot, again blanking.
It was Winter Soldier, right?
Oh yes, it's the White Wolf. Is that the only one? Oh no. There's the first one where.
Well, he makes an announcement.
They're at the government, UN or something.
He's gonna open the world to he's gonna open Wakanda to the world.
Yep.
Yeah. The proper way.
Chad.
So you guys mentioned this movie was a phenomenon. It ended up making 700 million domestically, 1.3 billion worldwide.
Is it the highest grossing Marvel film domestically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
700.
Crazy.
You know what's important that we forgot to mention too?
No one expected that. Yeah.
Wakanda is important for these Marvel films because vibranium, for one thing, but this is kind of upcoming. What they're thinking about doing, also Animanium, and that's going to play in huge with the X-Men.
Yeah, in
Down
the future, yeah. Because in the comics, Wakanda has adamantium as well.
Right. Yep.
And,
So that's pretty cool.
as of now, they couldn't use adamantium because that was a Fox-owned word for the right. Now they can. Disney's bought True Fox,
and they couldn't use the word mutant either.
Yeah, they can use the word mutant. Yeah. So that's why the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver weren't called mutants. They're just called something else. I forget. But we'll see about that. How that goes. Yeah. So overall, we all really like Black Panther.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really did. Yep. For sure.
Fantastic.
So, okay, might be the longest discussion. We're not even done, guys.
Oh boy.
The same year we got.
Oh god, that's sucking.
Infinity War. You're right there by again the Russo brothers, and anyone go ahead. Anyone can start this one. Who cares that this is the order anymore?
Okay. Who hasn't started in a while? Rob?
I've started.
You started Black Panther. Rob started Black Panther.
I started Black Panther.
Did you? Oh, I don't remember. Dan.
I can start, but I just talked last, so you're going to be hearing a lot of me then.
Go ahead. Okay. You know what? I'll go first. Fuck it.
Right.
So this movie is the movie that we finally get all the MCU heroes together into one big epic movie. This is only like part 2 or part 3, but like the first half of it. Thanos as the villain. Josh Brolin. Okay, I'm all over the place already. Okay, Josh Brolin as Thanos is the best so far MCU villain.
I would agree.
Yes, just the beginning of the movie establishes how dangerous he is, how powerful he is by kicking Hulk's ass, which no one's ever done in this movie, at least in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you set up a villain in the beginning to see how threatening he can be.
And he took Thor out.
He takes everybody that was in the Asgard ship out, and the biggest thing is Hulk. You know, if Hulk can't beat him, then the Avengers are screwed. You know?
And they even said that he didn't even use the Power Stone against Hulk.
No, they let him fight.
How strong he is.
Yeah, because he only had when he's fighting Hulk, he only has one stone, which is the
power.
The power. Yeah. And God, it was so when you're watching some of the past movies when they were coming out, you were wondering oh man, I can't wait to if the Guardians meet this character, you finally get to see that in this movie, and it's so much fun, despite the possible end of the world they're trying to avoid. There's and the Russos, this movie does have the problem of there are too many characters, so it's really hard to follow everyone. But the Russos did the best job they can do, because any other director or directors who do it sloppy, it would have made this a movie a mess. Because it's a lot of characters you had to juggle, and like I said, they did the best they could. I mean, it's a really hard task to pull off, but they do make it look kind of easy.
Yeah, they do.
And man, the ending, the final battle is so. There's a lot of crowd pleasing moments. It's fun, but it's also really intense and emotional until you forget that final moment where Thanos gets the final stone and he snaps his fingers. Boom, he wins. That's the thing that I really like. How okay, they think they're going up against. Okay, the Avengers have fought villains before. They won, but this is the biggest challenge yet, and they get their asses kicked by Thanos, and they lose. They finally lost. As of now, and everybody does a great job. Everybody's so good in this movie, especially I guess Josh Brolin as Thanos. Great, but everybody gets the moments. Spider-Man, Iron Man, Doctor Strange. But the one thing I kind of nitpicky about is Bruce Banner struggles turning to a Hulk again. I don't know why. They don't really explain it. It just the Hulk doesn't want to come out. My only explanation is that Hulk is just afraid of Thanos. That's really the only explanation.
I think they're gonna explain. I think it'll be fully explained in the next.
Well, the directors did explain it though. They explained it because they explained it like he fought Thanos, so he's sort of scared in a way, but he knows he can't beat him. So that's why he's not coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But
all right, I see that. I see the point. I see the point of that.
I mean, I guess we were supposed to kind of realize that when he's just like, no, when he tries to come out.
Oh, screw you, you big green asshole.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I thought
that's setting up they're setting up for his return.
That wasn't the reason, but maybe.
What was the other reason?
No, it's because he lost. That not really. There was a theory going around.
That's really the only reason. That would be the only reason.
Huh?
Okay. That would be the only reason, really.
In an interview, they said because he lost, he didn't want to come back out because he lost.
Oh, and see, now I remember when the movie first came out, everyone was saying that, oh yeah, it's because he was scared, and then the Russos were like, no, that's not why.
That's not why, but it's because he lost against.
But he's scared because he doesn't want. Well, you can see that he's scared. It's a good. It's not a far-fetched
point. I heard though was I kind of like this theory. It was that he's sick of being a puppet.
That was
I don't buy that.
That was the other add-on. I mean, I know they explain. If I can find the video, I can.
Well, I take your word for it.
Well, sure. I mean, my memory is not as good, but it's like
maybe he's just a big. You know what? You guys mentioned Hulk and Thor Ragnarok as a kind of a big baby. Maybe that's it.
Well, that's the thing. He thinks like a baby, or like he.
I'm like a big fucking baby.
What if they don't explain it? Like, what if he just comes out all of a sudden? It's like,
I really hope that we see him morph into Hulk like an Avengers.
Oh man, let him morph. Well, he's supposed to be Hulk. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alex. Go ahead.
No. It's just like there's so much in this movie. It's if I just talk about everything, everything I liked, I'll go on for an hour. But just to wrap up my thoughts really quickly, it is this MCU franchise. We've been talking about this. Like, it is like a TV show, and this is the final season. And they've set up everything. There's no more subs anymore.
This is like part one finale.
This is the finale of this current storyline, and it's like it pays off because they fucking lose. Like I said, it's like wow, they're really at a point where they're not sure they can win, and a lot of it has to do because of what happened in Civil War. They broke up. The Avengers split, and that's a big reason why they couldn't beat Thanos in this movie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And now half of the team is gone. I think more than half.
That still hits hard though. The Peter Parker.
Oh man! Everybody in the theater was crying after he.
And honestly, I kind of get teary-eyed with Vision. Like when Wanda's gonna destroy the stone, like that whole part is just set up so good.
Yeah.
It's so sorry, for him.
I'm glad he got killed.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I agree. I think the Russos did the best they could with that scene, and it is a sad scene. So I think that was probably the best scene of that character.
You could never hug me.
That's a good Paul Bettany impression.
It's all right. You can never hug me. Wanda,
but yeah, I'm guessing you guys are huge fans of this movie. Just like this.
I saw an IMAX and I threw up.
Shit.
All right, I'm just gonna go if it's fine with you guys.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm pretty much done.
This is my number one favorite. I really. What that?
Why?
Why is it my favorite? Because it's fucking awesome. Okay, that's all I have. No, again,
Okay, moving on.
I don't think the Russos. At this point, I just feel like they're like the awesomest directors because I just feel like I don't feel. What's that?
That word?
Awesomeness.
I gotta make it work. Most awesome. Listen, there was so much that this movie had to have, and I feel like they did the best job that could be done. I'm trying to remember exactly what you said, Alex, but I felt that I did not feel that anyone was shortchanged. I forget what you said, but I was kind of disagreeing.
How like since there's so many characters in the movie, there are times.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like I felt like everyone.
For example,
okay.
I think this is for example, the scene where Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Peter are in the ship. It cuts to, I believe, Vision and Scarlet Witch, and then you get Captain America and all of them returning, and then you go to something else, and then like 20 minutes later, then you go back again to Iron Man in the same predicament. So it's like, whoa, that's a long time since we got. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I mean, what I would disagree. I mean, I get that it's jumping around, but because they have so many obviously characters to hold. But if you think about it, that was actually if they needed to cut 20 minutes out to have them be at the same place, that was the perfect place to do it because they had to take that spaceship to Titan. So that was actually a good place to do that.
Yeah, like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange, they're gone out of the movie for a pretty long time, and then when they come back to them, they're still in the same place. It's like, oh, damn! Like, again, like since there's so many characters, like that's a huge challenge, and I think the Russos did the best they could. But it's like one of those things, like they had no choice. Like, no filmmaker would have pulled that off. With perfection.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I guess I never noticed that or thought like, oh, like I feel like we haven't seen these characters in a while. But
there's so many characters in different places; it's almost hard to.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Bring them to one place.
Mm-hmm.
But again, going back to the Russos, it just shows you that what a specific director can do for a character because. Rob said this earlier, but like Doctor Strange, and I thought the first movie was okay. He was my favorite character in this movie.
Oh, for sure.
Like I thought he was awesome.
Yeah.
And just thinking about this too, like Thor, after like Thor 3, I thought he was great in this movie too. I feel like they really they continued like to show how powerful he was in this film.
He was the best part. He was the best applaud moment, like in this movie.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like those two characters, man, like no question, Doctor Strange. I just wanted to see more of him. I just like, man, he's great. The action scenes in this movie were fantastic.
Yes.
Every one of them is memorable, and you can see what's going on. It's like they, you know what? You got like so many of these fights are probably like so much CGI, but it's like they choreographed them. From what I can tell, I mean, it was like beat by beat. You saw what was going on, and it was like, okay, that just happened. Captain America, when he first showed up, like, I'm not kidding you, I almost like had tears in my eyes. I just liked that.
I cheered.
I just liked that when he like just showed up in the subway, like the way they filmed it and like the music. I just remember getting like teary-eyed because I just was like, yes, Captain America. And again. He doesn't have a lot to do in the film, but I know in my heart, like they're holding him, they're giving him Endgame. Endgame is going to have a lot of him in it. Yes. So like, I'm fine with that. You know, even though he's my favorite character, I'm fine with the screen time he had.
And on top of that, you mentioned how about sorry to cut you off here, but you're talking about how like Thor was a really fun character in this. You talk about fun, the back and forth between him and Rocket Raccoon was so good.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah, and I've heard some people be like, "Oh, why is Peter Dinklage in this?" Like, you're like that character. I thought that character was very interesting. I don't know. I was totally fine with that. And I mentioned this earlier, and I'm going to start now. My favorite fight scene in the entire MCU is in this film, and it's the fight on Titan. I love that fight. That is my overall favorite fight scene in all the MCU. I just love every intricate detail of that fight. Like it shows you, like, you know, they try this move, Thanos does this. Every little thing was great, and then you get like the Doctor Strange is like fighting him on one-on-one. Iron Man's fighting him one-on-one.
Oh, the multiple man.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, I just you know, a lot of people like to point out too, like, oh, the generic CGI.
No, if you watch that scene again, if you watch the scene when he turns into multiple man, there's a point where Thanos looks maybe not scared, but like a little like, oh shit, like he got me in this part. You know what I mean?
You know, that's the only part he uses the Soul Stone. Is
Yeah.
when he gets multiple. He uses the Soul Stone to weed out the real soul.
Yeah.
That was really
And again,
cool.
look at that cool detail. Like, now I've never done this, but people have pointed out, like, you can see in the film when he's using which like each
They
stone
light up,
lights
yeah.
up. You can tell which stone he light
Mhm.
up. But yeah, going to the third act, you know, a lot of people have a problem with movies, and it is a problem where, like, you have this giant CGI fight of just like no names getting killed. You know, like Age of Ultron, all these robots, Avengers 1, like all the aliens. This movie, it was, I mean, really, it was the same thing, but I don't know. I really don't.
There was an actual threat though. There was an actual threat though.
Well, that's true, and there was enough characters that they were able to go between each character, and it didn't just stay right there. You know, they had Vision in the tower, and they had
It wasn't just Thanos either. It was the Black Order.
right,
Who
and
took the place of the aliens.
and again, not being a fan of the comics, a lot of people felt shortchanged by the children of Thanos, but I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, they were good. That's probably
They had to nerf them down. They had to nerf them down because they're too powerful in the comics.
So being a layman as far as that goes, I thought that it was great. So the only thing this movie was missing was Kat Dennings.
Or Sam Elliott.
Yeah. I would really honestly, when I sit and think about this movie, and I love to tear movies apart, even movies I like to be nitpicky. I'll nitpick a movie and still be like, I still love the movie, but like, I have no real complaints about this movie. I really don't.
I had one.
Which is it?
I just wish Cap had a shield. It's a
He will.
It's a tiny.
He'll get it.
It's a tiny one. I didn't really care for the gauntlet things he had.
Well, in the Endgame trailer, you do see he puts his hand on the shield, so he'll get back.
I know he will, but that was my only little tiny complaint about the movie is that he didn't have I felt like he was naked.
They needed one. They needed
my
a scene.
God.
They needed one scene when T'Challa's like, and get this man a shield, and Captain's like, yes. Then when they go to the battlefield, they should have showed Cap being like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought it would have been cool if he would have had like a hologram shield, which I thought they were going to do. Because sure, he knows how to do
A hologram shield.
Yeah, that's what he had in the comic.
That's funny. No, but no, I think he needs to, story-wise, it makes sense for him not to get the shield right away because he needs to like, kind of in a way earn it back.
I get that. Yeah, I get
That
that.
didn't bother me. The only thing that really bothered me was like the Hulk not coming out. Like, whatever.
Well, before I'm done, I want to mention this real quick, and I always forget to talk about this. And Alex, you reminded me, but yeah, Josh Brolin was great. Thanos is definitely, in my opinion, the best.
I want to mention this.
The dynamic between him and Gamora, and yeah, I didn't even talk about the Guardians, how awesome they were, but yeah, just like it was just all good. I don't know what else I can say. It was all great. Too much stuff.
There's some detail stuff that I've sometimes noticed when people comment on the YouTube clips of these movies. Like when Gamora tells Thanos, like, I hated that chair, I hated my life. He doesn't sit on the chair. He's about to sit on his chair that she's talking about, but he doesn't. He sits on the stair steps. Yeah. In a way, he respects her opinions, even though he doesn't agree. That's what makes a villain like that interesting. You know, he never yells at her. He never even doesn't even hit her or anything like that. It's like, you know, it's his own.
Right. Yeah. When he killed her too.
Yeah, he's crying, and I like that. Yeah. And how did you guys react when they brought back the Red Skull?
Oh, that was
awesome.
more movies need to do. You know, if it was any other movie, they'd spoil that in the trailer.
Yeah.
But I'm done. So whoever else.
Okay, who's next?
I guess I'll go next.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when this first came out. I remember my buddy got the tickets way in advance, and on a weekend, and we went. I think we went to the theater that's a little bit out from where I am. It's a little bit further out because a lot of theaters around my area were sold out pretty much, and we got tickets for, I believe it was a 1:00 showing, and I tell you what, it was a full theater. There was a lot of kids in the theater, but the kids were really well behaved. You know, they were cheering and clapping, and at the right moments. You know, it was a great theater experience. Yeah, but I remember like when the first scene popped up, when you see Thanos killing people like Loki and and things like that. I was thinking, I was like, ooh, this is like not a villain not to mess with. I mean, this villain is very, very intimidating, and rocketing Thor into space, and then that's when Thor meets up with the Guardians of the Galaxy people, and I thought like I said,
back and forth with them.
The back and forth between especially Thor and Rocket Raccoon was a lot of fun to watch. Their whole banter between each other was fantastic. And once again, Bradley Cooper just nails it as Rocket Raccoon. And of course, Josh, can't forget Josh Brolin as Thanos. I mean, Josh Brolin as Thanos is fantastic. This was a film that was building up for many, many years. And now, after all these Marvel films with Spider-Man and the Iron Man movies and Captain America and Thor and Doctor Strange and, Ant-Man and things like that, it's just really cool now to see all the MCU films all together. And once again, the Russo brothers deliver in a big, big way because they know these characters. Just like when we talked about Civil War, they know these characters. When they're in possession of these characters, they do it the right way. They do it justice. And once again, I really do agree with what Dan said when Captain America first comes on screen. It's such a crowd-pleasing moment. The way they introduce him, it's so good. Love that part. That was one of the best parts of the movie, especially the theater's reaction was fantastic. Doctor Strange in this film is fantastic. I love Doctor Strange in the movie, and it was really cool seeing all the people come back again. Black Widow and Scarlet Witch and things like that, and the whole ending too, where basically half of the Avengers get wiped out and turn into dust, like the dust in the wind. I still think that whole thing when Spider-Man's telling Tony Stark, I don't feel good. I mean, just hits really hard, and that was a tough one to swallow.
That whole ending when they're all dusting away, that made my youngest nephew cry.
Oh my god! I mean, because I'm trying to remember.
I had to hold my own tears and go like, okay, it's okay.
If you go on YouTube, you can see reaction videos of people who are in the theater, and you can hear when that part's playing. You can hear people just crying.
Yeah,
you can see them on YouTube.
Usually when Peter is about to get dusted away, everyone's like, oh no, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah, it kind of makes me want to go watch the people's reactions right away. Just to listen to those, because I haven't heard those reactions in the theater in a while. I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and look that up.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Infinity War has one of the best theater reactions to a lot of stuff.
On top of that too, I mean, there was a lot of, and of course there's some little fun bits of humor in there, especially between Rocket and Thor.
And Spider-Man.
What's up?
And Spider-Man as well.
Spider-Man, of course, yeah. I love the whole bit where Rocket gives Thor a new eye. He says, "Be careful! I had that stuck right up my cutaway." I was Bradley Cooper as Rocket Raccoon just kills it as Rocket Raccoon, and of course Gamora getting killed. I mean, things like that. There was a lot of stuff in this. I mean, I can go on and on about this movie. This movie just has a lot going for it. It's without a doubt my favorite MCU movie. It's definitely my number one favorite MCU film. It's definitely in my top 5 because it's number 1. It's right up there with Winter Soldier and things like that in my top 5. This movie just delivered on every single front you can think of, with the cast, the Russo's direction, a lot of great action, a lot of fun bits of humor. Once again, the actors do a great job. Downey and Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson and people like Josh Brolin as Thanos and Bradley Cooper, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista. I mean, I can go on and on about the cast. It's a fantastic ensemble cast of people.
And don't forget Benedict Cumbersnatch.
Cucumber Patch.
Cucumber Patch.
And even the small characters that didn't get a lot of screen time because they got killed off. Like Loki and Idris Elba's character from Thor Ragnarok and things like that. I mean, it's just once again, Josh Brolin as Thanos. I mean, great casting, and it's kind of funny too. Josh Brolin played in 2 superhero films in the same year, this and Deadpool 2. Yeah, it's Cable. But Josh Brolin as Thanos is fantastic. I mean, I can go on and on about the film, but I'm just going to wrap up by saying, the Russos do a great job directing, really good action, a lot of fun bits of humor. The banter between some of the characters is great. A lot of really great emotional scenes as well. It's not just all jokey jokes and things like that. There are some dark moments in there as well, which is great. Just seeing this ensemble cast of people is just so amazing to watch. And it's beautifully directed, especially when the whole finale is going on at Wakanda and when they get to the Black Panther world. It's just, I can go on and on about Infinity War. I mean, this film delivers on every single front. And I'm just going to wrap up by saying Infinity War is, without a doubt, my favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So I'll leave it at that.
Agreed.
Nice. Rob, I really don't have much to say because you guys have pretty much said everything. The only my favorite part of Infinity War is when Thor shows up. Like that's like my absolute favorite. I love when Captain shows up. That was great. But when Thor shows up, like, man,
you guys are screwed now.
Yeah.
Bring me Thanos.
When I talked about the Black Order, like being kind of toned down, like Proxima Midnight, her spear in the comics is able to destroy a planet. That's how strong her spear is. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can't really have that in a movie like this. So it's like, in Proxima Midnight, Corvus Glaive with the glaive that stabs Vision, like they're a couple. What I found interesting is they're a couple and they're fighting another couple, Wanda and Vision. And Ebony Maw, he was great because he kind of like had the Force almost, like he was when he fought Doctor Strange. That was a cool thing.
He was cool. I like him.
Yeah, he was.
Cole Obsidian, who was the big one with the hammer, big hammer. Like I kind of thought it would be cool to have Hulk fight him, but I can understand, since Thanos beat him, it's like maybe Cole Obsidian would beat Hulk. I don't know. It's kind of he's strong, but Banner was able to outsmart him. But anyway. Yeah, I just remember like the whole dusting thing. Like I couldn't believe it. Like Dan and I were talking before the movie started, like wondering if who was going to die. We even made a list of who was going to die.
Oh yeah, we did.
And we weren't even sure if anyone was going to die. We were just like thinking. And then when it started to happen, we're like, holy shit! Like all these people are dying. Like oh my god! Like we were just kind of blown away by like how many heroes were actually dying. I didn't think they would take it that far, and they did. But yeah, like the Russos did a great job. I don't think they could have even really done better. I think they did the best they could.
I agree.
They filmed this movie back to back with Endgame for an entire year, and they kept everything secret. And they did a good job on keeping Infinity War secret.
Impressive.
What?
That's impressive, keeping a big movie like this secret as much as it did.
It is. I mean, of course, we all know they fake stuff in the trailers. They fake there's some scenes in the trailer that didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
Which was a good marketing.
I love that they do that.
Yeah,
And I hear they're doing the same thing with Endgame.
they are. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they are.
But we'll see when we get there.
All in all, like I think they did more with the Vision Wanda thing where they're together, which is in the comics, which I like. I like that whole thing. Yeah, everything was great. I can't really say that there's a character that didn't really get much screen time. I thought they all got equal kind of screen time.
Oh, Nick Fury.
Well, they saved him for the end credits,
Yeah,
but I
that's
mean, I can see why. But yeah, overall, it's a great movie. It's not my favorite, which is kind of weird. My favorite is the first Avengers, but Infinity War is second, definitely second.
It's a fantastic movie. Fantastic.
I would also put this in the top 5
Easily my top 5.
There's no doubt it's in top
because
5.
watching it again, I was like, I still felt like I was watching it the first time again. I got so into it again.
Oh, I know. It is. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's
a very engaging movie. Very engaging.
Yeah.
And again, like we mentioned, when the Russo brothers get a hold of a character that's directed by someone else, it's like the Russos make that character better. Doctor Strange, Captain America, I just cannot. Even the Guardians, like the Guardians were from James. I know James Gunn came in there and actually gave his insight on certain things, and it was.
I think that was the difference right there. That was the difference that they brought him to. But yeah, because
because the Russos respect what James Gunn and Taki Wakaki did. Because they did a good job, and Russo
the Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah.
Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah,
it really sucked, and
it's okay. That kind of sounds like that with that little tongue twister thing. It kind of sounded like
Red Sticks.
That little tongue twister that they just did. It kind of sounded like when Rob in one of his older videos when he was talking about
everything.
I know he did last summer. He's like Ryan Phillippe, my PP, or
yeah. Maybe.
Okay, you guys did mention the visual effects, but like man, like that one part where Thor stabs Thanos with his new it's an axe. It's an axe, not really a hammer. He hit right in his chest, and Thanos screams, and then like he's face to face with Thor. Like, dude, Thanos looks like real. It doesn't even look CG.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
Yeah,
it's really good. They did a good job with that.
Yeah, I love when Thor's like, "I told you you'd die for that," or whatever. That was awesome.
Yeah. And but he should have gone for the head
or the whole arm.
Yeah, that's one. Okay. Now it's funny you mentioned that. Star-Lord is a fucking moron.
Oh yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Well, I don't. I can see where people come from, but I don't agree. I think I understand his pain.
I know, but like, dude, they had it right there. Like even Tony Stark says, like, don't like, cool, we almost got this.
Well, like just a second.
But I mean, look at what he had to go through. I mean, he was actually going to kill Gamora when he shot. And
I know, I understand that, but again.
I mean, if that was your, he's human.
I know, but like watching the first time, I literally yelled out, "No, you fucking moron!"
But you could also call Thor a moron too. He should have gone for the head, so that was kind of stupid.
Maybe it was deflected, and when you went, Pew!
Well, the Russos did say at that point, Thanos just got all the stones, and he's not good at using them yet together. Which in Endgame he will be. He'll be better. So they said that.
Point, yeah.
I love the moment. Thomas, you mentioned how funny Bradley Cooper's Rocky Raccoon is. I love the moment when he's fighting with Bucky. And he's like, "How much for the gun? Not for sale. How much for the arm?"
Like when there was like, "See, you copied my beard."
Yeah.
Like, that stuff like that. That's put there for the fans.
Well, that's good Avengers camaraderie right there. That's good chemistry.
Because again, they haven't seen each other in forever, so they would say that. Yeah, you mentioned I am Steve Rogers. Like I love the part with the group.
I thought all the comedy landed in this movie. Like honestly, like I feel like I don't know. I was gonna say, like, Guardians 2, I felt like some of the jokes, not a lot. I felt like there were a couple that weren't quite hit perfectly. Like I felt like this movie, everything hit perfectly.
Yeah.
This movie's 2.5.
This is the highest rated Marvel film.
Can I guess what it has as a rating?
You said
8.5.
8.5.
I was gonna take a guess. Damn it.
But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say like 8.7.
Wow. That's like
I'd give this movie at least a 9.
Oh, I'd go. I don't like giving.
I say 9.
I'd give it. I'd 9.5 for 9.5.
it's top 5.
Easily top 5.
But I kind of prefer Black Panther a little bit.
I just love the original Avengers more.
But then again, it's like I said with the Winter Soldier and Civil War. Yeah, like I said with Winter Soldier and Civil War, like Civil War as an action movie, entertainment piece, it's more entertaining than Winter Soldier. But I thought Winter Soldier's story.
We should do another podcast where we rank, kind of do our ranks. But let's move on if that's okay.
No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We all love Infinity War.
Yeah.
And at the end it sets up Captain Marvel. With the
Dust and blood.
Why did Dan say let's move on? Does he have to be somewhere? Because I didn't know.
It's late, dude.
I don't have to be anywhere, but
I didn't know if like Dan had like some sort of emergency or something like that. That's why I was like.
No, I don't have an emergency. I haven't been up this late in a long time.
Hey, it feels good to be young again, doesn't it?
It's worth it, is it?
I'm having a good time. I just have to be up in the morning, so.
I do too.
Well, tomorrow is Easter. I gotta help my mom with Easter dinner tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
We all do. But yeah, Infinity War was awesome.
Right. Yep.
No, enough said. I do want to mention Stanley's cameo on this one. He was the bus driver, so yeah.
Bus driver, yep.
And Spider-Man shows up. Like,
yep.
What's wrong with you kids? Have you ever seen a spaceship before? Yeah, this is the second highest grossing Marvel film.
What's the first one? The first Avengers?
Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther. Okay.
Yeah, the Infinity War made 678 million domestically, and this in the worldwide is the biggest 2 billion.
I guess that's what I was at. I guess that's what I'm. That's actually what I was trying to ask. Is that the highest? What's the highest grossing like MCU movie like worldwide?
Infinity War, 2 billion.
Yeah. And what's Black Panther number 2?
No, it's Age of Ultron.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, not Age of Ultron.
Black Panther was number 2.
No, not Age of Ultron. The Avengers 1.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that. But after everybody was so sad at the end of Infinity War, the next just a few months later we got Ant-Man and the Wasp, again directed by Peyton Reed. And this is more lighthearted, obviously, and I like the movie. It's a fun movie, but at the same time, it's filler.
Yeah, it doesn't really like. It doesn't, I wouldn't say it's completely like a pointless movie. I mean, they make some mentions like from the other films, but
for Civil War, they show you what's been going on.
Right, exactly.
He's house arrest, and he
does serve some purpose though.
I liked it. I think it's kind of underrated, to be honest.
Do you think it's better than the first Ant-Man?
I would say they're kind of equal to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think this one, was fun. I think it was fun. So nice to see Paul Rudd once again as Ant-Man. Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp. I liked her.
She was great. I think she was the perfect addition.
She was. And I especially love that part in the trailer, and it's in the movie too, but I love the part in the trailer when they're in their small, tiny forms, and she's running along the knife being thrown.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
that's a fantastic scene. Really well shot. And and of course, it's really always cool to see Michael Douglas because I'm a big Michael Douglas fan. Michael Douglas once again coming back from the first movie.
Oh, more de-aging.
Yeah. But I think Michael Douglas is fantastic.
What did you say, Rob?
I was quoting Fatal Attraction.
Oh yeah.
And you also have people like I'm just looking up the cast real quick. I'm just looking up Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Lawrence Fishburne's a traitor.
But you know what's funny? What does that say about? Oh, no, I'm not gonna get to that. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Bobby Cannavale, Michael Pena. I keep forgetting that Lawrence Fishburne's in this.
Yeah, they make him look young. They make him look young.
Because he is forgettable.
Harry
He's a
White.
traitor.
Oh my god.
I keep
Hey,
forgetting-
wait, man. He read the script to Justice League. I'm just saying. I know that's a low blow, but
Hey, well, I guess you could say the same thing about what's his
King
name?
James.
Edward Norton.
Spider-Man.
Michael Keaton.
No, I forget who was.
Willem Dafoe.
No, in Whiplash. J.K. Simmons.
Oh yeah, and Willem Dafoe. He was in Spider-Man, and now he's in Aquaman.
You're right. Yep. Okay.
Everyone's jumping in deep.
Sure. Everybody's jumping around, dude. Whatever.
It's fine. I'm just kidding.
I know. But yeah.
Yeah, but and what's really funny too, when you look at the Ant-Man movies, it's hard to believe that the director of this was the director of Yes Man with Jim Carrey.
Bring it on.
That movie.
Yeah.
I don't.
What, Yes Man?
No.
I thought it was one of his better newer films.
No.
I kind of miss Jim Carrey. I kind of wish he would do more.
I agree with Rob.
It was better than Dumb and Dumber 2.
Sure, but that movie was garbage.
Any one of Jim Carrey's movies is better than Dumb and Dumber 2.
I think that movie's fine, honestly.
What,
Well,
Yes Man?
Hey, but I think it's okay.
What, Yes Man?
Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh.
No, it's garbage.
Yeah, Janet Van Dyne. She was
Kurt.
great.
Kurt.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, we get to see a younger version of Michelle Pfeiffer. Oh,
You like that they explore the quantum realm a little bit more in this? Like,
No.
yeah. Yeah, that's like exploring different things in the MCU.
Yeah.
I don't like quantum physics.
Okay.
Dr. Selvig will explain that stuff.
That guy's an asshole.
He's in bed with Kat Dennings. Hey, you know his name's Skarsgård? Hey, have you ever seen that movie Nymphomaniac? He's in that movie. And at the end, he shows his PT.
I just like when he gets his arm bit off in Deep Blue Sea.
Did you know he
No.
shows his PT at the end of Nymphomaniac?
I don't know. I wouldn't know. I've never seen that movie.
I paused it.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
Wait, you paused it when they showed his pee-pee?
True story.
Wow, we're way off topic
Yep.
here.
I know.
Oh, okay. I did feel we kind of gave Ant-Man the shaft when we did the Phase 2. But it kind of sucks because this movie is just filler. Like I said, it's like it's fun, but
It's fun, yeah.
it's a fun sweet snack.
I think it still continues. Sweet snack. Yeah. That's a snack. A good snack.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
say this. I'll say this.
I can eat a pizza.
Potato chips.
Shit, face off. I think, Rob, you said that you said you liked it better than the first one, right?
What, this movie?
Yeah.
No, I like it equal.
Oh, and who said what? Alex, did you say?
I didn't say that.
He said it's filler.
I said they were both on the equal playing field.
No.
Okay.
Thomas was asking if anybody liked it more than the first one.
No, I'm saying.
No, I know you asked though.
Yeah. That's what it was. So, yeah, Thomas, you asked, and I was thinking about it, and I was gonna say I liked the first one better, and as I thought about each scenes of the movies, I actually think maybe I do like the second one better than the first.
Okay.
There's a lot more action.
And I don't mean like way better. I just mean, yeah, I feel like they're
No.
like when I'm thinking about the action scenes and like just everything, the
The
comedy
whole
and
stuff
everything.
with Ghost, the Ghost.
I really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I would put the second one over the first.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
disagree.
What?
I disagree.
You like the first one better?
Yeah, I thought the story was a little better.
I kind of like both of them the same way. Like
Because
Rob.
in this movie, it's like almost like a chase scene throughout the whole movie. Just they're both like all the characters are looking for the same thing, which everyone calls it a MacGuffin or whatever. That's really that's really all that happens in the movie.
Walter Goggins.
He was fine.
He was good.
I like him as an actor.
He was fine. He was good.
His character reminded me of just like a different version of Justin Hammer.
Abraham Lincoln, the president of the United States.
Yeah, like his character was more. It was like kind of like Justin Hammer in a way. Kind of same type of villain. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah.
kind of where no one's really gushing over this movie, but I would put this movie ahead of some of the other ones we talked about.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah. You know why? But again, it's just like the first one. It's like, oh, it's a fun movie. Like it's, I don't know.
You're right. No, there's not many layers to it.
No, that's why I call it a sweet
No,
snack.
it's not- yeah, after coming off of Infinity War, it's kind of like you're not expecting something better. You're just kind of like, okay, let's chill.
Everyone's like, oh, take a deep breath and watch this, and I'm like, no, bring in.
Yeah, but then we get to the end of the movie.
No, that's why I call it filler, though.
Yeah.
It really is. And
Well, they kind of need to explain what's going on with him.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd just be like,
What the hell? Like, where were you at, man?
where you been, stupid?
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. The second one has over the first one is Evangeline Lilly's haircut.
Okay. Oh God, her haircut was terrible.
Okay, that's one thing I didn't mention when we're talking about the first movie. I didn't like how like they kind of like, in a way, kind of forced a love relationship at the end of the first one, where I thought like they should have waited to the second one to them hook up. It's kind of like, you guys, there's a hurry. I think I just felt like maybe they weren't sure they were gonna make a second movie.
Florida in this movie.
That's
though.
like I don't know why they feel like they have to do that in every film. It's like
You can wait.
Yeah. Well, I thought this relationship was a little bit better than, well, again, Jane Foster and
Oh,
even-
again, anything's better. That's the worst one.
Doctor Strange in a way.
yeah, Rachel McAdams. It's kind of like what?
At least Evangeline Lilly is in the same kind of thing with him, with
Yeah, I
Ant-Man.
know.
Like he's going to be a hero, so it's like they're both.
And she's like obviously like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah. It's even better than the Hulk Black Widow crap.
Oh yeah, that's second worst.
So wait, is that relationship done? Do we know?
Well, Infinity War, it was kind of awkward when he's like, Nat. And they're like,
But that's all they
like,
did.
They don't. Well, we don't know. I mean, do they have sex in Endgame?
Oh, you know what? And since he can't turn into the Hulk, they can have sex then,
Well, he can't. Yeah, Steve.
right?
And yeah, and he could talk as the Hulk, so maybe that'd be better. Black Widow, good looking.
No,
Black Widow want to have baby with. So
I blame Josh Whedon for adding that stupid love story in Age of Ultron.
Josh Whedon is way overrated.
he's a tired. What a tired individual.
I do. I feel like yeah. Let's just go. Move on.
Ant-Man and the
Ant-Man
Wasp is fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Whoa.
Point one.
Did you guys like how like Ghost wasn't really a villain? She was kind of
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
He was used like a.
Eh.
I like the truth serum scene. Running
What?
gag. The truth serum running gag.
Oh, I will say this: Ant-Man and the Wasp had the worst after-credit scene, in my opinion, of all the movies. With that stupid ant playing the drum.
That was pretty.
Oh,
I-
okay. I agree that's crap, but I do like the part a little bit where you see all the TVs are kind of like offline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the TVs are like they're you know like when fuck how to explain this?
Like
TVs are flying.
an
Yeah,
emergency
Yeah, like all the TV broadcasts are gone.
It's kind of like
Yeah, like that. Like I like that bit, and then but like it goes to the stupid ant playing drums,
yeah.
So I guess the ant survived the snap.
I really had I don't know what the point of that post-credit scene was.
It was
that ant for people too.
It was garbage, is what it was.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what the point of it was.
But the first end credit scene, the mid credit scene, it's like when you see how Ant-Man is trapped in the quantum realm again, and Hank Pym and Hope and Michelle Pfeiffer's character are all dusted away. Like, oh shit.
All done. They're dead.
Yeah. Which kind of sucks. Like Michelle Pfeiffer, they went all the way, went to the trouble to find her and save her, and then she gets killed anyway at the end credits.
Stayed.
She'll be back for Ant-Man 3.
And I like how the end credits says like Ant-Man and the Wasp will return ?
They're not.
Liars.
Yeah. But I did that before they even had Endgame trailer.
Fire!
Fire!
Well,
Um,
7.1
and the Stanley cameo in this one,
guys.
was it him?
Is real.
It's when his car gets shrunk.
Ah, there you go.
Oh yeah.
You know what, Thomas? You should have been in charge of the Stanley cameo list.
I got the notes right here.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a funny little moment.
Yeah.
We already mentioned the end credits. First one was pretty cool. The second one was garbage with the end.
Worst one, in my opinion, for sure.
Worse than the Thor Dark World one.
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay. Well, at least I think they're gonna go back to the ant.
I think they're both garbage.
What? That ant is weird looking.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony.
Actually, I think that.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah, the movie ended up making 216 million domestic and 622 worldwide. Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad for a filler movie.
Yeah.
I hate that.
But yeah, moving on. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Poor Ant-Man. We don't. His movies are not that impactful to us in this discussion.
Hey, you know what? I can't wait till the Russos get a hold of Ant-Man. I think he's gonna kick some.
Oh, and Civil War.
What? Oh yeah. Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, in Endgame, I think we're gonna see more of how.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just.
So yeah, let's wrap it up with one more movie. We got one more left. Captain Marvel. It's still in theaters.
I believe so.
Yeah. It is.
So who wants to start this one? Because this movie is kind of controversial, I guess.
I'll start.
Okay.
Who wants to open the can of worms?
I honestly did enjoy this film. I actually don't agree with. I don't understand, to be honest, when they say Brie Larson doesn't show much emotion, because I actually thought she did in this movie. And to be honest, I don't know if these people, and a lot of them are fans of comics. What comics are you reading? Because from what I understand, Carol Danvers in the comic is serious, and she's cocky, and she's a brute force, and she doesn't really show much emotion. So I'm just kind of confused.
To me, it sounds like these people are complaining about that haven't read the comics. Then,
well, okay, but there are some fans that talk about how Captain. I think it's Brie Larson. I think they just don't like her. It's not the character. It's her. It's portrayed because of.
Okay. All right, I retract my statement then.
Well, because of the comment she made, all that stuff, and so
What did she say?
The comment was like, "There's too many white dudes in movies. There's not enough
She said critics.
Huh?
I think she's talking about critics though.
Oh, journalists, right?
Journalists, something like that. Yeah.
Really white journalists?
She was saying there's not enough African American and different kinds
or female journalists and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah, she just made a comment like that. Like she wants to see. Actually, this is how she said it. She wants to see more of the other kind of race. I don't think that's a bad statement to me. I think people are turning it around like that. Well, anyway, people are making clicks about it on YouTube. But as Captain Marvel, as a character, I thought she did good, and I thought the character was interesting, and I thought the story was pretty good. It's not the greatest, but I think for what they had, it was good. Samuel Jackson, they did the de-aging thing again. He looks young, young Nick Fury.
And this for like almost the whole movie.
Yeah, and that was really really impressive. Agent Coulson, of course, you get to see. It takes place in the '90s, so you get to see a lot of '90s references.
Yes.
I thought the CGI, the effects were good. There wasn't really many memorable battles, and a lot of people I know Dan thinks the same way about the end, kind of the ending where she takes out all these ships to show off her powers. I think that's kind of a setup for Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
There's theories going around she's getting her ass kicked anyway, but she is one of the most powerful MCU characters. I think Thor is stronger than her, but she is one of the most powerful. So they got to show that. I don't know. I thought the movie was fine. I don't understand all the complaining, to be honest. Was it better than let's say Black Panther? No. Was it better than Thor 3? No. But I like it better than a lot of the bottom, like let's say 5 or 6 of my list on the MCU films. Like I don't think it's that bad. I really don't.
Okay. You got more to say?
The scrolls. I like the scrolls. I like the way they were going with it, and they made them seem like they were villains, and then they turn around. I like that. That was actually a good surprise.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, yeah, I'm done. I liked it for what it was.
Yeah. Okay. We discussed this like when we were off air a bit about because we mentioned the character of Rey from those new Star Wars movies and the whole Mary Sue shit. Okay.
And you guys hate it.
I did mention how like, okay, I really don't want to use the gender card in this discussion about Captain Marvel, but honestly, what difference is it with Carol Danvers being overpowered at the end compared to Captain America at the end of the first adventure? They're both overpowered. Yet I have heard no one complain about that with Captain America. Captain America first adventure, he kicks Resco's ass so easily. So where would they complain of that? I'm just saying.
Overpowered.
I'm not disagreeing with your thought process, but the example, I mean, I think that's kind of different. I mean, it's just Captain America versus one guy. And
I would compare it to Thor 3.
She's taken out like ships.
I would
like
compare it
spaceships.
to. I would compare it to at the end of.
Well, her power is cosmic.
What?
Her power is cosmic.
It is cosmic, but it's almost the same as Thor. I mean, Thor.
Yeah, I wouldn't compare her to Captain America as far as.
But I mean, I compare it because like she's a character that was human, normal from birth, and then she got powers as an adult, and then same with Captain America.
Yeah,
that's why I put the comparison in.
Captain America doesn't really have powers; it's a serum. But I mean,
yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But he kicks, but he beats the Hydra guys and Rescue easily. First adventure, I've not heard no one complain about that. I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know if I agree with that situation. I don't think it was he beat him easily.
Well, he had a team too. He went in there with a team too, with his friends.
But I do understand how at the end she does beat the bad guys easily. It does kind of take away some tension. I think I do like the movie, but I think it does have issues where like what people have brought up about how her character, she doesn't have much of a character arc as much as like when you look at the first Thor has a character, he changes. Iron Man 1, Tony Stark changes from beginning to end. Doctor Strange changes in his first movie. I don't really feel that way with Captain Marvel. I think there's a lack of a character arc.
Well, he does change because she was afraid when she was younger, and then when she gets older, she faced her fears.
But I don't think it was. I don't think it was handled as good as it could have been. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It's good.
I kind of thought the flashbacks really I kind of thought the flashbacks as her young, and then she's a little bit older. And then I kind of thought they did a good job with maybe explaining like her journey a little bit.
Mhm.
But
The problem with that, I still don't know if I even understand this. They kept showing us these flashbacks of her as a little
Past.
kid, but she didn't even remember those. So it was like the audience was seeing those, but she didn't even remember
Well,
those.
because she didn't remember because after the blast.
No. I understand why she didn't remember them, but I'm trying to think of from a movie standpoint, like how
No,
are
it
we
was just
supposed
kind of like set up clues about like, and then it all comes together at the end. Kind of like that kind of
Yeah.
storytelling.
it's build up.
Right.
Yeah. And I do like, what I do like about the movie is how I really love the '90s setting, and of course you got like jokes that I'm so glad they brought in, like how they're trying to download a file and it's loading really slowly.
Yeah, that was
When I saw that in the theater, I turned to my nephew and was like, "Yep, it was that slow back in the day." They don't know.
Little,
Yeah.
little side note here. When we get to this in a little bit, we talk about like '90s references. The Stan Lee one has a little '90s cameo that me and you are gonna love. That me and you love. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I know.
We'll get to that later.
But like yeah, the Radio Shack joke, like what, yeah, all that stuff. The phone booth.
Radio Shack. Wow.
Radio Shack. But one thing I was disappointed, like they didn't. I don't think they should have used '90s songs that we haven't heard in a while. And so yeah, there's a few ones like, well, I've heard that song in some other movie like a few years ago. It's like, hey, it's not that nostalgic. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I'm being a little nitpicky about that. Like, maybe you should have chose different songs from the '90s that we haven't heard in any movie or any show in like forever. So maybe it's I don't know, like the song. Was it TLC?
No Scrubs or
No.
Waterball.
Yeah, that song's been played in other stuff in the last few years. So I was like that's I don't know. That's just nitpicky. But I really like the Shield in the movie. And the Squirrels, like you mentioned, I like how you thought they were bad guys, but they were actually good. And
One thing I will
that kind of reminded me of kind of like Star Trek a bit.
One thing I will add is that I thought it was kind of impressive that Brie actually did her own stunts.
Yeah.
Okay.
With a woman, I'm not saying genderizing or whatever, but with a woman kind of like doing her own stunts is kind of impressive. I'm not sure if Gal Gadot even did all her own stunts.
I'm not sure about that. We have to research that. But like, actually, any actor, like most actors, don't do their own stunts because
I know
one of the few people like Tom Cruise does them.
Yeah.
Well, that's because he's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that they brought Coulson back. I know, this is like when he was a rookie and he was young, so it's cool. I do feel like they should have shown him more, because like he's not gonna be. Oh, we don't know. I don't know. He's gonna be back because honestly, I don't count Agents of Shield TV show as canon in my opinion. I don't. Not a fan. So to me, just as of now, the movies are the canon, not the shows.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I really got like Men in Black vibes to like when Coulson and Nick Fury were in their car driving. Like I don't know, it's just me.
Yeah.
I remember me in Men in Black.
I get that vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of got a Lethal Weapon vibe from this movie a little bit.
Really. It was like a little bit, since it was Samuel Jackson. I also got some Pulp Fiction vibes to it a bit too. But I like but overall, I thought it was a decent movie. I actually liked it maybe a little bit better than Ant-Man and Wasp. But at the end of the day, I do feel it is filler as well.
It could have been better, but
It could have been better. I agree. But the cast is fine. What's the actor's name who plays the leader of the Skrulls?
Ben Middleton.
Yeah, Ben Middleton.
Yeah.
He surprised me the most because I thought, okay, he's gonna play a bad guy again.
Right.
But no, he actually is really good as playing like a good guy. So I was like, he should. That's him doing something different.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed it, and it's flawed, but I thought it was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thomas.
Me personally, but Captain Marvel, I would say I like the movie. I wouldn't say like I say I love the movie. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorite Marvel films, but I agree with Alex. I think it was a pretty decent, solid flick. I think Brie Larson does a fine job as Captain Marvel. I know there's that whole controversy thing about her comments and things like that, but I think that's more of the bad case of people twisting her words around and things like that. I mean that's a pretty common thing. Whenever like someone says one thing,
yeah,
they turn it around and make it look like it's something else and things like that.
Fake news.
But I think Brie Larson does a fine job as Captain Marvel. I think she's fine. I mean, I like Brie Larson in movies like Room and Kong Skull Island, of course.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah, yep, even that too. I think she is a pretty decent actress, and I think she does a very fine job as Captain Marvel. And I really like too when you talk about the de-aging effect of Sam Jackson as Nick Fury. It's really well done looking de-aging effects. Like kind of like the same thing with how we were talking about the de-aging effect of was it Kurt Russell in Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like that. I mean, like fantastic effects of the de-aging stuff, and once again, it's always cool to see Sam Jackson in a role. It's just Sam Jackson's just a great actor in general.
He has more to do in this movie than most of the other.
Yeah. And actually, there were two directors on this. Two people directed this movie, and actually, when you talk about
what are the names?
Aren't they?
Ryan Fleck and Anna. I'll tell you right now, Ryan Fleck and I actually have it right here. I mean, I have my notes out. Hang on.
I know.
Ryan Fleck and I'll tell you right here, Anna Boden.
Huh.
And when you talk about Ben Mendelsohn, these two directors actually worked with Ben Mendelsohn on Mississippi Grind with him and Ryan Reynolds. So that's why they got Ben Mendelsohn for a role in Captain Marvel. Yeah, but outside of Brie Larson and Sam Jackson, I like Jude Law. I like Annette Bening. I like Ben Mendelsohn. I think it's directed very, very well. I love the '90s references that it takes place in the '90s, and once we get to the Stan Lee cameo, that's a really fun reference that we'll get to when we get to the Stan Lee cameo.
Just mention it right now.
Okay, well, the cameo by Stan Lee is when he's a passenger and he's memorizing his lines to Mallrats, which I thought was a lot of fun because it takes place in the '90s.
And they do a tribute to him at the beginning with the Marvel Studio logos.
That
was
huge applause in the theaters.
Yeah, it did.
Stan Lee, I mean, rest in peace, Stan Lee.
Yeah, this is his first movie, in the MCU where he's after he's passed away.
Yeah, rest in peace, Stan Lee. We're gonna miss you.
Yeah.
Lived a good life, Stan Lee. Lived a really good life. Yeah, but that cameo was a lot of fun because me and Alex are big Kevin Smith fans, so that made us chuckle a little bit because Mallrats.
But to be nitpicky though, the movie Captain Marvel takes place in 1995, same year as Mallrats, but Mallrats will obviously filmed in '94. Again, nitpicky, whatever.
Yeah, but like you said, really fun soundtrack because there was like some '90s songs in there. Because it is.
I like the songs, but it's just like I wish they would have picked some songs that
songs in there because it was '90s references.
I would have personally put Cypress Hill or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But overall, I think Captain Marvel was a really solid flick, a pretty decent movie. I say I give it about a 7.5. Pretty solid. I like Brie Larson. I like Sam Jackson. I like the other cast members. I think it's pretty solid action in the movie. I like that it takes place in the '90s. And overall, I think Captain Marvel is a pretty decent flick. So that's my final rating of it. I'd say 7.5 for me.
I'll give it like a 7.
Okay.
7.1 on IMDb.
And the Ryan Phillips.
IMDb, baby.
I want my baby back generic ribs.
All right.
I could tell the Rob and Dan are really out of it now.
Well, so
It's-
okay, Captain Marvel. I've seen this twice now.
All right.
It sucks.
No, it doesn't suck.
I'm just kidding.
There's things I like and didn't like. Again, I like the scroll. I thought I liked Sam Jackson and Brie Larson's chemistry. I thought I liked that they flipped the script and went with, oh, the villains are actually not villains, and these guys are actually the villains. But things that I didn't like, I don't even want to say I didn't like. I want to say they were bland and maybe just not. I just feel like I wasn't into the movie as much as I would have liked to have been. I thought some of the comedy didn't land. I think that was one of my main things I noticed the first time I saw it. I felt like some of the jokes just didn't land.
I agree with that.
I also felt now the de-aging was fantastic in this movie. Like you could not even tell. And I want to go back just for a second to Captain America: Civil War, the de-aging of Robert Downey Jr. Though it looked fantastic, it wasn't perfect. I didn't think. I think they've mastered it. I mean, like when you talk about Guardians 2 and Michael Douglas and Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer, all great. But yeah, this movie was, I mean, like for it to be the entire film of Sam Jackson being de-aged looked great. However, I thought some of the other special effects weren't that great, honestly. And it wasn't until the second time I saw that I noticed it. I feel like probably, who knows, like the budget had to be put in for the de-aging, but I felt like some of the special effects weren't as strong as they could have been.
You mean like the special effect when Carol Danvers fully turns into Captain Marvel and she has the all-her suit and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. Yeah, I'd say that would definitely be one. I also, yeah, and again, I know some other people had a problem with this too, but yeah, when the third act comes and she is like fully powered, I felt like at that point she didn't have a strong antagonist that could compete with her, so she pretty much just annihilated everything. Which, again, I understand they're trying to show you how powerful she is, but then there was no suspense after that. I wasn't like, you were just like, okay, well, she's just going to take everything out. And I understand that is what her character is supposed to be. I'm just being, personally in the film, I feel like that kind of took away from that. Brie Larson, I actually like her as an actress, but I felt like she came off kind of bland in this movie, honestly. And I'm actually interested to see what happens in Endgame, because Endgame was filmed before this movie, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So,
but the Russos, you see how the Russos handle her.
Exactly. So this is going to
technically the Russos created her character,
right? So this is going to be a first in that we're going to see the Russos take on a character first, but we saw this other director take on the character, and that movie came out before Endgame. So I wonder if that's going to cause any kind of, I don't want to say conflict, but like, what if her personality is completely different in Endgame than Captain?
We'll see. I mean, we'll see.
We shall see, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I thought the movie was okay. I mean, again, like you use the word filler, and like, I'm like, maybe it kind of was that. I didn't really think that at first, but when I think about it,
it also has like prequel-itis, where like, how like in prequels, like they finally name something like, what am I gonna name this? What am I gonna this or whatever, you know what I mean? Like at the end where Nick Fury comes up with the New Avengers, like that's like stuff like that's like nitpicky, like whatever. You have to have that,
Yeah. What did you? I wanted to bring this up. I'm curious what you guys think of this. So some people,
the eye. You mention the eye.
Huh?
Did you mention the eye?
Oh, that's not what I was going to mention.
What?
Okay, I know that's going to come up, but no, I was actually going to mention the fact that in the beginning of the movie, we as an audience already know that she has been brainwashed and that she has this Earth life.
Mm-hmm.
We know that from early on that okay, she actually is from Earth. Did you feel like that took away? Do you feel like they should have not revealed? They should have filmed that differently and not revealed that until like later on in the movie as a surprise, just like the scrolls.
I wasn't even sure because I wasn't even sure who she really was till they explained her backstory fully.
Right, but I mean, like when they had her captured and we were seeing the images in her head that were she was like living on Earth, it was like, okay, well,
I see. I was confused when I first saw it.
Okay,
so I was kind of lost. Till they finally explain, she actually was someone from Earth this whole
it was
time.
built up. That's what it is. It's
Mhm.
yeah. They're showing you piece by piece, and then then it comes together.
But okay,
yes.
Let's pick this up.
So you guys didn't care about
Okay.
I honestly didn't look at it that way. I just kind of knew. I kind of figured what was going on. Like
I
I
like
didn't know everything that was going on.
I like Goose the cat, but that character has the best scene and the worst scene in the movie.
See, that was one aspect of the movie. I felt like there was a lot of force feeding with the cat, and I mean, like some of the jokes landed with the cat, but like I felt like for me, like half of them was like
You know, like how he was like in
it
when
didn't
he
work.
covered the cat was inside the plane when they're flying, and he was like, it was a weird CG, but it was like it's funny.
Yeah, it was.
And again, that was the scene where you're just like, okay, that's obviously CGI.
Again, that's
You couldn't do that to a real cat.
That's fan service, and that's why the casual person wouldn't see that as like something that should be in the movies. Again, like with the whole cat thing, eating the Tesseract and then scratching Nick Fury's eye because it's I don't remember what they call them. The cat has a name. It's an alien species.
Right.
But again, that's fan service. So it's like you wouldn't know any of that anyway if you weren't reading comics, which I didn't either. But I just before I saw the movie, I kind of read up on because I kept seeing the cat in the trailer. I'm like, what the hell's with this cat? And I read about it, and so yeah, that's the whole explanation. The cat is not really a cat. It's
Darn cat.
So yeah, I think actually the movie didn't even really need it.
See, I like when I say that cat has the best moment. I'm talking about like when they reveal that he's an alien and like attacks the bad guy. It's like, that's a shocking moment. Like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that cat was like that at all. I thought it was a cat.
That was okay. Like, I don't even think the whole Nick Fury eye thing is a big deal. Like, I don't know.
I hate that though. It's like, okay, again.
Why do we have to because he lost an eye? It's like, do we need to even?
I think look. If they didn't have that scene in Winter Soldier where he mentions that if let's say then that he never said that in Winter Soldier, I think I would have been okay with this, the cat scratching his eye. But like, no, he made it seem like I trusted somebody like for years and then they betrayed me and like I lost an eye because no, it's just play for laughs. It's a stupid fucking cat.
I think it should have been. I think a scroll should have done it. Like, but then the scrolls aren't bad. So.
Or like Jude Law's character or Ronan or somebody.
Yeah.
Honestly, it didn't bother me. I didn't care.
Yeah, it didn't. I didn't think it was like a big deal, but
I wasn't like. I mean, there's people that are like, "How in the hell?" Like, I can't believe.
That's the thing about this movie.
I was just like, eh.
That's the thing about this movie. Like, people are just go ape shit over this movie. Like, more than any other Marvel movie. Like, people are just like so upset by it. Like, what happened? Like,
you mean like
not just with the comics, but like what he's saying, like with the eye and the cat and all that. It's just like, what's the big deal?
I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna have a line where he says, like gives you a glimpse like I said, in Winter Soldier, like he said, I was betrayed and that's why I lost an eye. If you're gonna have that line in the movie, have a payoff.
What was the exact line though?
He's like, the last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye.
Yeah,
that's not.
And the thing is, like, they were having a serious conversation.
Yeah,
but Fury is different in that movie. He's like changed over time, so I could see him being serious.
I don't know. I thought the payoff was lame. That's how I felt.
It could have been,
really?
I understand your opinion.
At least you're not like, what the fuck, like, you
No,
know.
because it's not like Nick Fury is my favorite character or anything. You know? But I don't know, man. I thought that was kind of just lame. Like really, like wouldn't he be able to heal his eye? It was a cat scratching it. Just saying. I don't know.
Wait, it was that alien creature though.
I know, but it was just a scratch. It wasn't a stab in the eye.
It was like he had infectious claws or something, probably.
Yeah, it's yeah. I don't think
stupid,
he can actually get out of it. It basically. Rocket Raccoon help him with that.
He should have got skull.
I like how they have Ronin.
Skull fuck.
I like how they have Ronin in the movie. Like it's for
that was cool. I agree.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing, but
I like the reaction he makes when he sees Captain Marvel all powerful, and he looks at the other guy like, oh shit, like that.
Yeah.
Funny. But yeah. Anyone else want to say anything about Captain
no,
Marvel?
it's getting a 7.1.
Yeah, or 7.2 now, I think.
Oh, 7.2.
I'll say this: I did not, and I know Alex, you can probably look this up. Like, I'm surprised at how well it's doing at the box office. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say. Oh, well, the movie's still going. It's still playing theaters, so it's like.
You know what I think is helping that though? All the controversy about it.
Yeah.
Like I think
I agree.
I think that's helping the numbers.
Yeah, so all the people who are complaining, like, oh my god, Brie Larson, blah, 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 you actually did the movie a favor. So, idiots. Joke's on you. Just shut up. Don't make a big deal about this shit.
Prepared for Endgame. I mean, you gotta know about this character, so everyone wants to be ready for Endgame.
I have hopes that the Russos just, they know how to treat the character. So
I know, like, how bad would that be? Like, what? I don't even want to. I have not one time thought about this until tonight. Now I'm like, oh man, I'm like, hopefully, like, they don't screw up Captain Marvel. Like,
well, there are people out there that said they're not going to watch Endgame because
what the hell?
In it.
You know what? Hey, but you know what? Fuck them. Okay.
People say shit all the time too. Like, that's garbage.
I'm not watching
I think the Russos know what would be good for her and what wouldn't.
You know what? Because you know what? If you're gonna have that attitude, like, oh, I'm not watching Endgame because of this and that, then you're not a fan anyway. So yeah, fuck you. That's all I gotta say. Like, yeah. Overall, we like Captain Marvel. Fine.
Yeah, we liked it.
All right. Despite the controversies.
Yeah.
So yeah,
my lower end, but
it's not bottom 5 or anything.
No.
But yeah, the end credits to this, the first one is you get like a little clip of Endgame where they're trying to find. Oh, that's one thing. Okay, a little problem, a little nitpick, I guess. Why did Nick Fury? Where was Captain Marvel during Avengers 1 and Age of Ultron?
Another planet. Right?
She never answered. Did Nick Fury call her in those times?
Oh, you're wondering why Nick Fury didn't use the device? Is that what you're wondering?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If he did, then I guess she missed the call.
Call her for the other Avengers? You mean?
Right.
Well, because he had the Avengers. That's why.
Yeah, but like even like there's times in the Age of Ultron or even in the first Avengers, it's like he should be calling Captain Marvel, man. Those are American.
You know what's funny? In Captain America Civil War, how General Ross is like, you guys fucked up New York. Remember he says that?
He actually says, fuck.
Yeah.
He actually says that.
Well, guess what, General Ross? Guess what, you asshole? You tried to nuke New York.
That is true.
Fired a nuke.
Very true.
So what the hell are you talking about? Iron Man had to save you from killing millions. How come they don't bring that up in the movie?
Everybody said on his backswing, he should have had a heart attack and died.
Well, okay, the first end credits is looking for Endgame where they're trying to figure out the device that Nick Fury put at the end of Infinity War, and then you see them like face to face with Captain Marvel. Like she says, "Where's Fury?" She has like longer hair, a little bit older, but yeah, excited for Endgame.
Yeah, so she's been on planets like helping other people, and supposedly that's what
I guess they'll explain that in Endgame. I guess
it'll be interesting. I mean,
the movie is 3 hours long,
Yeah.
so they have a lot of explaining to do. They're gonna fill up all the gaps that they have left. Yeah. So that's we're done.
we did it, guys. We did it.
Wow. Are we really at the end?
You're at the end game, guys.
Wow.
We can do Justice. We can do DC in one sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. we could.
It's 6 films.
Oh, and by the way, okay, so on to Avengers Endgame. I saw a leaked version and the movie sucked.
Oh, you're one of those people.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll be the first to see it.
Pirating is bad.
Huh. Oh, did his mix millions? Nah, and you probably would. Nah, that's you probably. It'll probably like this movie. Endgame is probably like, dude. They're doing a good job not making sure nothing leaks or nothing spoiled. You know.
That's this week. I can't even fathom that.
After this week, it's like I have nothing to look forward to.
For the rest of
Yeah, this
Cobra
is.
Kai. Don't forget about Cobra Kai, man. Oh,
You know,
Sure.
I have fight for that.
It's funny. I saw somebody today wearing a Cobra Kai shirt, and in the back it said, what's the line? Sweep the leg.
good line,
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yes, yeah. I saw someone wearing that shirt at the store today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Gotta get
About that.
I got the gi.
I got the headband.
I got the Cobra Kai gi, full on gi, and
I
wig.
mean, I know it's late and we're really tired, but do you guys still want to do that ranking of Phase 3?
Yeah, we can.
But
do
you
that.
know what? Let's not. You know what? Let's not even do that because you know what? Because, no, you know what?
We can't do
Because
that
no, Endgame still hasn't come out yet.
and Spider-Man Far From Home.
So technically, yeah, we can't do that till we get to Endgame.
Yeah, I realize that we can't wait all the
I'm too lazy to do it right now.
Would it be fair though? Because we're not done with Phase 3 because Avengers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I'm saying that. Let's wait till Endgame.
Agreed.
Yeah, let's do that.
To be continued.
To be continued. Yep.
Yep.
Rob, Alex, Thomas, and then we'll return for Endgame? Question mark. So yeah, this is the longest show ever.
How long is this part 2 right here?
Dude, at least 3.5 hours.
Woo.
And that's not even counting like the 40 minutes we did at first.
Yeah,
That's
because
4 hours.
the hiccup. Ugh.
Yeah. So, but it's well, we got through it though.
That was a nightmare though.
But it's okay. It's okay. Shit happens. Shit happens. It's
Internet
okay.
connection was, ugh.
It's all right. So we'll be back for Endgame.
Yep.
All right.
So anyone who's been watching or is gonna watch this already, thanks. Hope you guys enjoyed this
Yep.
long stream.
Very long.
and apologize for the technical difficulties. It happens. No worries.
Yeah.
No worries on that.
I'm mad.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna turn green now?
Oh, I'm always angry.
Man.
I'm always angry.
Hulk,
Morph.
you son of a bitch.
You get a morph.
You know what it is? I think the Hulk. It's like his morphing is constipated. That's what it is.
What if he has to take a dump? What happens?
Okay. I'm gonna end the live stream right now. Right.
All right.
Any last words?
Nope. Done. Marvel done.
Yeah, I think we pretty much said everything.
We need a Kat Dennings Marvel film.
It's gonna happen.
We got to make sure to bring Kat Denning and Sam Elliott in the next.
Yeah, you know what? Jennifer Connelly was in Spider-Man: Homecoming. Why not bring Sam Elliott?
Or Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
We should do the sucky Marvel films, like
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Which one? All of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Good night, guys, and this is fun.
All right, yeah.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Thanks.
See you guys at the end game.
See you later.
We're in the end game now.